What is going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here, back with a post-match fan show. Spurs have been beaten 4-2 to Manchester City at the Etihad. I watched the game here on the watch along with Barry, who was with me throughout all the highs and the many second-half lows that there were in this game. We did go 2-0 up in the first half, Barry. We were looking good. We were looking strong, strong at the back, more importantly. But I think it goes to show that it was more down to maybe Man City not being on their game in the first half than maybe Spurs being good. And I said that, didn't I? I said that.
You did say that. You said that. We didn't. We probably didn't deserve to be 2-0 up, and yeah, it was. It certainly was the masterclass from Man City where they just blew us away.
Yeah, I wouldn't say we were bad in the first half. I think we were good, but it's not like we were really deadly on the counter or that we were opening up Man City loads of times. I just thought we were solid defensively, and we pounced on a couple of mistakes from Man City in that first half, and it gave us encouragement considering that you would think Spurs usually are better in the second half than they are in the first. So you'd thought that we would go on strong in the second half, but unfortunately, the opposite was the case. Man City upped their game, became more intense or much more aggressive. They started doing a lot more of the second balls and a lot more, their pressing was a lot more on point. And they forced many mistakes out of our back line. Perisic and Lloris for the first goal. Perisic keeping Haaland onside for the second goal. Third goal, Lloris lets it in at the near post after a Perisic mistake again, and then fourth goal, Longley just gifts them the fourth goal, and that wraps it up. And it's just I don't know what Conte, especially when we face the good sides, the top six sides. These defenders just aren't up to it, and I think they've proven it now, time and time again. It's not as if Conte's coaching Longley to take a heavy touch, under pressure. I don't think Conte's coaching Perisic to miscontrol a ball when it falls to Mahrez. I don't think Conte's coaching the Lloris to punch the ball straight to Alvarez. I mean, as much as blame we could put on Conte, the general quality of these defenders has been shown up time and time again. And to be 15th for goals conceded, I mean, that shows what kind of quality we have in our backline.
Yeah, absolutely, and we know from before, and we never used to concede goals, let alone be 15th in the bloody standings. And the irony of it is that we're third in the amount of goals scored. So look,
and we could have been 3-2 up as well today.
Yeah,
and that was a pivotal moment in the game.
You're right. It was that we got that deflection and it went onto the post. They got the deflection, it went in the back of the net. A goalkeeper shouldn't be beaten at his near post. But Hugo was. Look, I think there's some big changes needed for, moving forward. Hugo needs to be dropped. Heung-min Son, I'm sorry. We saw a stat earlier. In the last 15 games, he scored one. He's got one assist and he's created one big chance. He needs to be out of this team. I don't care what people say. What stat they show me to say that he's not, he scored 4 goals all season. And that is just unacceptable. And he needs to be dropped. None of this rotated nonsense. He needs to be dropped. Hugo needs to be dropped. I think, the best thing we can hope at left wing back is probably playing Matt Doherty there. I guess the positives from tonight was Bentancur was back and everything else. But look, we know we can't rely on, Kulusevski's coming back, Bentancur's coming back. Højbjerg wasn't great again. It's the same old story every single game, and I'm just bored of it now. I'm just absolutely bored of it, and I feel sorry for those fans that went all the way up to Manchester tonight. They're going to get back probably 3-4 in the morning, and be interesting to see what Conte has to say after the game.
He says, if I have to compare this game with last season, we played much better today. The performance was good. We played with personality. We created problems for City. Last season, we played for a longer period in our own box to defend the result. Then one counter-attack and 2 goals from the back. Today, we were really brave. Last season, we were a bit lucky. And this season, we had a massive chance at 2-2. The game changed totally, and the mental aspect when Man City went 3-2 up. Compared to last season, we are conceding too many goals. 4 goals in the second half. It's the first time in my career one of my teams has done this. We have to continue to work to try do our best. And he goes on to say, you have to try and justify the goals we are conceding. This is a period that we have not been so lucky. We are making many mistakes, but football sometimes is this. Sometimes you have positive performance. Sometimes you're in a situation that is not positive, but we have to continue to work and believe in ourselves. As I said in the past, this type of game, with more experience, you don't lose. You don't buy experience. But then he goes, well, you can buy experience. We have to build experience year by year. And any more quotes by Conte I'll bring to you. But let's start getting the guests on.
Let's get them on. Let's get their thoughts.
Let's see what you guys have to say. The link for all the members is in the community section if you want to come on and have your say about today's game or anything you want to talk about. Do come on and join us. So let's start with Hassan. Hassan, hey, hello. How are you doing, my friend?
Okay, I guess. How about you guys?
Yeah, look. Disappointed. 2-0 up against Man City, and to give it up like we did was really disappointing. But give us your thoughts and anything you want to talk about.
I mean, I think I'm sort of to the point now that it doesn't really faze me as much, I think, as it did last season. Our losses now are sort of just devoid of any emotional connection to this team, and it's really sad because, you know, as a football fan, you want to be excited to watch your team, but today I really wasn't. I was sort of just going through the motions, which ironically is probably what most of the team was doing as well. And I don't know, it was just, I thought we played okay in that first half, nothing special. And then we got those 2 goals at the end, which I think gave people the impression that we were amazing in that first half. But I thought, you know, we had little moments. And then in the second half, City just started playing like Manchester City. And with our defenders, I mean, most teams won't be able to cope with that, but then with our defense, it's going to be almost nigh impossible to cope with that. And you saw that four goals conceded in the second half. Like Conte just said, it's his first time in his career that that's happened. So yeah, I don't really know where we go from here because, you know, 20 days in, no new signings. And at one point, I'm pretty sure we had the same team on that we had when we versed Manchester City last season. Which is always great after our fantastic summer window. So yeah, I there's really nothing positive for me to take out from that. Perhaps maybe that I thought Romero was pretty good. Bentancur looked nice and Kulusevski looked nice, but apart from those 3, I can't really say anything else.
Come on, Hassan. You want to say Emerson Royal played well today? Come on.
Yeah. To be fair to him, I think he actually had a decent first half. He was good defensively. He did score that goal. He popped up with the goal. So that's probably the Pedro Porro deal off now.
Oh, God, yeah. You're right. He's done too well now.
Yeah. Why do we need a right wing back? Emerson's scoring. He's, you know, defending well. Look, interesting. I don't know whether you've seen the quotes from Pep. He's laid into the players and the fans, saying that they're lacking in guts, passion, fire, desire to win from minute 1. The same with the fans. They're silent for 45 minutes. I want my fans back. Oh, we could probably do with that as well. Guts, passion, fire, desire to win from minute 1.
Yeah,
no?
Yeah, probably. I mean, I thought it's difficult because I remember last time we played, we were always camped inside our box the last game, and we never got to press out. I thought this first half we pressed decently. We definitely worked hard, but I think it just showed in certain moments the lack of quality. I mean, it's like if you hire Antonio Conte, you know he plays a 3 at the back. You know he uses wing backs. If you look at that back 5 that he put out today, Perisic, Davies, Dyer, Romero, Emerson, how many of those players get into any other top 6 team? Maybe probably Romero. Probably none of them. Yeah, probably none of them
at the moment.
Right? And you want a manager who's built up upon defensive solidity to play with those players. Right, and then people will say, "Oh, but he should go to a back 4." Well, we went to a 4-4-2 in the second half, and we still conceded because Longley had a poor touch. So, you know, no matter what we do, I just don't think we have the defenders to play any type of good football.
And we
I
saw
think,
something similar under Jose, didn't we? We played a back four. He changed it to a back three in some games to try and combat that. And then he went back to a back four, and he changed all different types of combinations. Apart from like Romero, it's pretty much the same, very similar players in the back line to what we had then.
Yeah.
And it's similar mistakes. And I don't understand how we haven't addressed this issue after years and years of fans pointing out and it being clear as day that they're not up to it.
I mean, biggest example is Antonio Conte asked for Bastoni, and now whatever you want to believe, whether Bastoni didn't want to believe Inter, whether we didn't put a bid in, whatever you want to believe, he asked for Bastoni or someone of Bastoni's caliber, and we gave him Longley on loan. You know, he asked for a top right wing back. We got him Jed Spence from the Championship, and I think no matter who comes in, they'll always ask for a certain level of players, and they most times out of 10 won't get that player. And I think that's just what we have to live with until those owners and Daniel Levy decide to move out, because I can't see them. You know, I don't think Conte wants. If I was Conte, I wouldn't stay. So if he's not going to stay and sign a new contract, what's the point in giving him a new right wing back, a new defender? Right, the club should have figured that stuff out.
Do you think Conte's here by the game on Fulham Monday?
I don't know. I think personally, for me, I would respect Conte a lot more if he just walked. I think the biggest thing he could do for this club and for the fans, more than anything he could do on the pitch, is to just walk. Show the board for who they are, for the owners, for Daniel Levy, and just say, you know, I've had enough, and leave. I don't think anyone would blame him. And I think he would probably do the best that he could for our club if he did that. So personally, I would hope he would walk before Fulham. But I don't think he will. I think if anything happens, he'll chill here until the summer.
So
and
yeah,
then,
I mean, look, Hassan. We were saying it earlier. The amount of games that we've got. Obviously, we play Fulham. We then have a break and we have Preston in the FA Cup. But the teams around us, I mean, we could be 8th, 9th, even 10th in the next couple of weeks. And I can't see it, but I can't see where the next, you know, we were sitting there saying, where's the next points coming from? We were all buoyed at half time and everything else, but I genuinely cannot see us. You know, the last time, I think... the last time we played Fulham, or one of the last times we played Fulham, we had Harry Winks scoring in the injury time to get us the win, right? So I can't.
I mean, Fulham are playing well right now.
Absolutely, and then obviously we have a bit of respite. Then we play Man City again. So yeah, I just I don't know about you. I just don't know where this is coming from. Look, Heung-min Son and Hugo Lloris, two of probably two of the greatest servants that have given a lot to this club. But is it time for them to be dropped? Both of them.
I think Lloris definitely has to just leave. I mean, some of the goals he can see, you shouldn't get beaten at your near post like that. I don't care if there's a small deflection or you hit it hard. You should be saving those goals, and those mistakes have been coming too regular now. Almost every game, there's one mistake that happens, and it's costing us. If the defense doesn't feel comfortable with their goalkeeper, then they're always going to try and push deep to help him out, and then that just lets the other team press onto us, and then we can't get out of our own half. So he has to be, I think, get replaced. I mean, I would want to replace now, but obviously we don't operate like that, so it's not going to happen. And for Son, I mean, I think it was 15 games, 1 goal, 1 assist, 1 chance created, or 1 big chance created. And people, when Harry Kane had scored 1 goal, 1 assist after 14, 15 games, they were calling for him to be dropped, calling for him to be sold, for him to leave. And so if Son's going down the same sort of trajectory, you got to hold the same standards. And we have Richarlison, although it's not his favorite position. He can play left wing. So I hope, if Conte is here, if he's not, whatever happens, that Richarlison starts instead of Son, because if it's psychological or physical or mental, whatever the problem that he's facing, I think he just has to be taken out of the firing line. just for his own good and for the team's sake, and then get someone like a Charleston to play. And if we need to bring him on, he can do what he did against Leicester if need be. So I think he has to be dropped, and Lloris should be sold, or should be at least replaced in the summer.
All right, Hassan, good to see you, my friend. Cheers for calling in. Disappointing day,
worries.
but
Yeah.
I can't say it's going to turn around anytime soon, but there you go. Nice one. Good to see you, mate.
Big up,
Speak to you
Hassan.
soon.
See you later, guys. See you later.
Cheers, man.
All right, that was Hassan. Let's go on Powder TCG.
Hello.
Hello. Can you
Hello.
hear us?
Hello. Yes, I can. I can hear you.
Fantastic news. Fantastic. So started well, like Spurs. Are we gonna finish like Spurs, or what you got to say, Powder?
No, I'll make sure to stay here the entire time as long as you guys have me, instead of just poofing like the Spurs do. But that was rough. That was a really rough watch, and I'm definitely like a newer fan in terms of like the grand scheme of things. I really like. I kind of just. It sucks to say this because of his form right now. Like the reason I started watching was because of Sonny, and it just really sucks, especially after the last season he had. I mean, I have signed autographed Sonny cards all over my room, so it just really, really sucks. But like we bring on Richarlison, but he's playing out on the right side when he's better on the left. He's either he's better up front or he's better on the left, and unfortunately that's where Sonny is. And I know in this game, I guess Conte's thoughts were we got to get a goal, right? I understand in this situation Conte didn't go like we have to get a goal, get every attacking option that we can on there, but like it just doesn't help when it's like he's not able to put in goals, but then on the other end we have players that are just letting them in, so we're in such a weird position right now. And like I started watching in the Poch era, so it's like so it kind of sucks to see like Dyer and Davies still here, after all these years of just the same stuff. They're now moved up to the top team, and we're still getting the same. Sure, we got to the Champions League final, but it's not the same. Like this is worse, and we totally like it was a miracle that we got fourth place last year. We didn't get fourth place because of how we played. We got fourth place because Arsenal just they had a bad game against us, and I forgot who else they lost to right at the end. And then,
Newcastle.
Yeah.
It went down. Newcastle. Okay. So yeah, and look at Newcastle right now too. Like here we are. So, something's got to change. Genuinely, something has to change, because like we were playing catch up with them last year. Now it's not even close anymore. And a big part of it is Arsenal fans were calling Arteta to go out, but he's there. He's there for a while, and he continuously said, "Please trust the process. Please trust the process." But not only did he say it, like the owners did. Like their owners clearly, like every time he has a relationship with the owners, and we don't. We don't hear from our owners. And I kind of like how Conte's coming out and saying that, like, hey, why can't the sports director or the owners come out and talk? So
As you said, you're a relatively new fan. I want to have your take on the ownership issue, because obviously there's a lot of ill will right now, and a lot of people calling for Enoch and Levy to change or to leave. There's a lot of people, organising protests saying they want them out. There's another subset of fans who, would, argue, in the summer we got top four, and then they spent 170 million to improve the squad, and we've gotten worse. So isn't that on the manager? Has the manager got a lot of questions to answer for the fact that we have declined ever since, for some reason, since the summer. Back end of last season, we were playing really well, winning loads of games 3-4-0, getting Champions League, and after the investment from the club in the summer, we've gone backwards. Where do you kind of line up when people talk about the ownership?
I think it goes from top to bottom. There's a lot of issues throughout, and those issues are coming up. Like, we're now seeing them. I feel like all the issues are like on show right now, and that goes for the owners. That goes to Conte. That goes to the what's it called? The health staff. Like, we're not getting correct answers from them. We're being told 2 weeks for Bentancur, then we're being told it's going to take a month, things like that. But then we go to the players, and the players in a similar situation, like that grit that we saw from like Dyer last year. Where is it? Where did it go? Did he play above his weight? Like Davies? He was doing so much better last year too. Like, did he play above his weight? Is that gone? Like, where? So this goes from top to bottom, and Conte is to blame as well to an extent. Not in a way of like, I think he should be outed. I think he should. I think it's more of a, hey, there's certain things that need to get like fixed up right now. But like in terms of, okay, why are we? I think it was against Villa. We were bringing in players at like the 80th minute or something like that. And I was like, I feel like it's way too late now. It's just way too late. So there's, and then you look at the bench. There was this one moment in today's game where I just saw Foden, KDB, and Silva standing there on the side, ready to training to come in. And I'm like, and I'm thinking to myself, like, what? First of all, these guys start regularly as well, right? But that's their bench. That's like these players could go on. That could be their first team. We are not even close to that. We're not even close to that. We're taking.
Were you watching it on Sky Sports on England? Did you hear the Gary Neville commentary? Was that where you were watching it, or was it American?
No, I think it was Peter. Jory.
Because there was one moment, if you were watching on Sky Sports, there was one moment where Gary Neville was discussing, whether Conte has a good squad or not. And he was arguing that he has no sympathy for Conte's complaints about the squad, because he looks at our bench and we have players like Sessegnon and Sanchez, and they are good players.
I don't. The thing is, the problem is, like, I feel like last year kind of blurred how people see a lot of the squad. In a lot of players played a lot better than they did, and I like, once again, as a newer fan, Gary Neville, I know this guy just he talks a lot, right? He talks a lot, and like, but the problem isn't. I feel like a lot of the players that we have on our first team would work as bench players. You can look at Dyer and Davies and be like, oh, okay, you know what? We need somebody to come on in the 75th minute. Dyer, Davies, bring them on. We can get that to work, right? But they shouldn't be the ones that we're sitting there for 90 minutes in a 2-2. We need to make sure we don't concede, but we need to make sure that we get a goal. Like, I don't want Dyer and Davies playing the 90 minutes, and then Romero had a solid game today, I thought. And even Emerson had a solid game, like, not a solid game, but like, it was better than he usually plays. But did we score because of their mistakes, or did we score because we were good? And it looked like we scored because of their mistakes. Yeah. It didn't, like, I've seen Emerson head that ball towards goal plenty of times, and it goes nowhere near on target. And today it went in. Like, a broken clock is right twice a day. It's gonna happen, right? It's going to happen. Like, if he just keeps doing it. But at the end of the day, it's the consistency of it. And last week, I'm told, oh, Trossard is very interested in making a move. And here we are. This morning, I'm waking up to the fact that he's an Arsenal player now. So, it's just a weird situation from top to bottom. Like, yeah, I totally agree that, like, if if the board doesn't get out, they got to start supporting the manager. They genuinely need to start supporting the manager.
All right, Powder. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but I hope so.
Yeah.
But appreciate your call. Appreciate you coming on. We're just making a few adjustments for some special guests coming on now, but we'll see you very, very soon. Appreciate you calling in, my friend.
Thank you for having me on. Thank you.
All right.
Big up, Powder TCG.
Big up to you, mate. All right, before we get the next guest on, we have a special guest coming into the studio. You might have seen him before. It's Bobby
BK, it's Bobby K, it's Bobby K.
It's Bobby K. Oh, sorry.
Oh, steady. A few sherbets in the pub. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you after watching that display, I need to have that
Bobby.
extra pint.
Good, haven't seen you since the game. I saw we had dinner before the game. We were like, whatever. We had no expectations. We weren't really thinking about getting anything out of this game. Go 2-0 up. You're thinking, maybe we can get something out of this game.
We did.
And then the defenders again, do what they do, make the same mistakes as they have been all season. What did you feel when you were watching that game?
Pain.
Lots of pain.
Lots and lots of pain. I guess the only solace in it, honestly, Sim, was the fact that somebody in the community was kind enough to offer us tickets to the game and said we've just pretty much got to make our own way to the city. So I looked into it, and it wouldn't have been too much for us to make the trek all the way up there. And I was like, 6 hours of commuting just to go watch the game and everything. Obviously, with family commitments, the last few days left, it just wasn't feasible. And I am so glad I did not bother, because how deflating would that have been to be in that stadium and see that. It was kind of funny though, because little K turns to me and he's like, "Well, Dad, at least we would have seen a goal, because we didn't get to see that on Sunday either." So, but it's like, yeah, we would have seen 2 goals, son, but then we would have seen the other team score 3.
I know. Look.
Oh, sorry, 4.
Yeah. Look. Conte. Was asked in his his post-match press conference what the club need to do to close the gap on teams above them, and his response was, "This is not a question for me; it's a question for the club."
I'm surprised he didn't just burst out laughing.
You know what though? It's funny you say that, because I actually read a little bit today about the press conference he did, and about how the losses that he's, the last 3 people that were very important to him that have passed.
Oh
in a
yeah,
short
those
time
kind of
and
losses.
everything
Yeah,
like that. And we love football, but life is grander than football, of course. And when you have to experience a loss in your life, of course, it impacts you. And you could see, even the way he was speaking and everything, it was heartbreaking to see him speaking like that. And then you think about the fact that here he is, all the way over here in England, to do a job for us, and he's being berated for that job. We got half the fan base imploding and saying, we want him out, this and that, he doesn't know what he's doing, and he's overrated, blah, blah, blah. This man is over here in pain. He's hurting. We're human at the end of the day. He's human at the end of the day. He might be this world-leading football manager, but at the end of the day, he's just a man with a heart and a soul, and that soul is in pain. That heart is in pain. His family is sitting in Italy, while we expect him to sit here and consistently do a job with, I hate saying, mediocre players at best. In some positions, less than mediocre.
Yeah.
And we wonder why he can't get the job done. How the shit do you expect him to...
It's all right. It's all right.
That's all right.
I mean,
But look,
your
Bobby.
kids are right there. So if you're happy,
Yeah,
I'm
Bobby,
fine.
Bobby. To back your point up there, it's 31 goals conceded after 20 Premier League games for Spurs. Their highest at this stage since 2007, 2008.
That was Juan de Ramos.
Yeah, and
one day Ramos,
That was
right?
one-
One day
exactly,
Ramos,
one day
yeah.
Ramos.
right,
Because one day he'll go because he was crap too.
and they've conceded we've conceded 2 or more goals in 9 of our last 10 league games, losing 6 of them. Serious issues at the back.
Serious issues at the back. Nick, what's even more painful is we're a second half team. Mm-hmm. We have classified ourselves in recent weeks as a second half team. And you and I spoke about this the other day when I was here, and you made that great point that it's not that we're so much a second half team, it's that the other team takes their foot off the gas. We didn't take our foot off the gas today. We put the goddamn thing in park and just said, it's all right. Go on, do your thing now. To a team like City, with the firepower they have, that goal where Alvarez scored and he's just sitting there completely unmarked. Oh, my God. Are you kidding me? Like, we have... And it's just... It's such basic errors.
And is that... But when it keeps happening... You know, does that go to the quality of the players, or as some fans are arguing, does Conte have to take responsibility for that?
How do you take responsibility for the man that's sitting on the sideline versus the man that's supposed to be standing on the pitch covering that man? How can you blame the guy that's sitting there screaming on the sidelines until his throat is burned out, his lungs are bleeding basically because he's been screaming the entire game, because he knows how inept some of these players are, that they need that direction consistently. You're a professional goddamn footballer. You're a professional. You're paid to play football. I get paid to do a job. If I don't do my job, my ass is out of there. Yet we pay these guys consistently, and we expect this man to scream at them and continuously teach them how to do their job? Come on now. How can we expect that from these people? How can we expect that out of Conte? It's absolutely abysmal and disgusting for our fan base to sit there and think that Conte is the sole reason and premise for what is happening right now. It is vile as far as I'm concerned what is happening with our fan base right now, because we're so turned against each other. These results obviously don't help, but you know, misery loves company, and we seem to have a lot of it right now. You know, we are over flooded with misery right now. And again, it comes down to player performance. People not doing their jobs. You don't do your job, mistakes happen, mistakes cost us in games, especially against a team like City. The only thing that helps me and gives me any sort of comfort in this situation is the fact
Emerson Royale scored?
No, that's what made Little K happy. Yeah, because after we did the stadium tour today, he actually sat in his seat and he goes, yeah, I'm in Emerson Royale's seat. I'm like, get out of that one, son. But he was happy to be there, so all right, good thing. But it was like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? You had a player like Emerson score. Shouldn't that lift you guys at halftime? Shouldn't you go in there thinking, oh my God, if a guy that everybody in the fan base is writing off and saying he should not be at the club goes and puts one in for us and actually does something, shouldn't the players that are supposed to do something that we have expectations from deliver? Can we not point the finger at them even and say, you're not delivering, you're not delivering, you're not delivering? And it's the list of players that are not delivering keeps getting added onto. It's not that we can sit here and say, oh, this guy's finally stepping up a little bit. This guy's finally stepping up a little bit. This guy's putting in his heart. This guy's putting in his soul. It's just lackluster. And I think saying the word lackluster is a damn compliment for what we saw in that second half. You know, we did the complete opposite of what everybody has expected out of us lately, only because, again, we are supposed to be the second half team. We're supposed to be the ones that come out in the second half. So if we go into that half 2-0 against City in their home stadium, shut their crowd up, deflated, taking the air out of them, taking the wind right out of their sails, and you go in there, that's the time you've got to just, you know, you got to push even a little bit further then. You press that gas a little bit more, and you know, for lack of better words, you put your foot on the neck and you squeeze that person out while they're on the ground and you finish it off. No. We say, hey, hold on a second. Where's Dr. Tottenham? Bring him on. Haaland hasn't got a goal.
Three games, yeah.
Games. Yeah, let's help him out, right? So, you know, it's painful. It really is. I feel for us as fans. I feel for the players, because there's no way they can be proud of what they've done. I don't know how some of them can collect their paychecks and have any joy or pride in cashing the thing and sitting here and saying, yes, I earned my paycheck this week. As far as I'm concerned, when you see performances like that, the players that haven't stepped up and what is that, sofa score ratings and all that stuff, anybody that's under a 5 rating right now, your paycheck from this week should be donated to charity.
Yeah, look, Bobby, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result, and we're doing that from the top to the bottom. But let's get Mikey on and hear what Mikey has to say. How you doing,
Hi.
Mikey? You
I
okay?
got Mikey.
Well, you know, not great.
Hey, Mikey!
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I was very happy today because I finally got my last piece of uni work done for the semester, so I can relax for the next 3 weeks. Nice, relaxing game of football to watch on a very definitely 100% legal stream, and I end up watching quite possibly the worst second half capitulation I've seen since last week. So, yeah, that's
Was it last week or 4 days ago?
I don't care anymore. I
It's
timing doesn't
becoming a
matter to
blur,
me
isn't it,
anymore.
Mikey?
It's all rolling into one.
But Mikey, just explain to me your thoughts about what happened today, the current situation at Tottenham. What are you thinking at the moment?
That's a good question. I think it's clear that I need to put my phone on mute. Tottenham are a club who employ a manager who was brought in for instant success. I've been saying this to all my mates. We employ a manager who is, admittedly, Jose Mourinho was probably a little bit past his best when he came to us, but still known as a serial winner. Only club who hasn't won something at is Tottenham. I don't know what that says about, that's a very well documented fact. But then you get someone, Antonio Conte, who, rebuilt his reputation, winning, beating Juventus to their 10th Scudetto or whatever it was with Inter, playing Victor Moses at right wing back twice, winning 2 league titles with playing him at right wing back. This man's a serial winner. He goes into a club, you hire him, you win trophies for a couple of years, and then eventually it gets toxic and you sack him. Or he leaves. That's how it works. At the time when we hired him, yes, it was a good appointment for the time. But my God, we are not built for instant success right now. You look at our team, and we are far from it. We are playing Preston in the FA Cup, and we'll fade the first big. If we do win the FA Cup, then great for us. Probably not. AC Milan in the Champions League is looking ropey, and for all intents and purposes, we need a rebuild. It's not a matter of simply hiring a manager, getting rid of a few players. This club needs a complete rebuild from the top down and the bottom up. We have amazing training facilities. We have arguably the best stadium in the Premier League. That's for you to decide. And we are watching a team playing like they're 15th, sitting in 5th. It doesn't make any sense. Just like
is that on Conte then, the way they play, or what are you feeling?
That's on the players that he has at his disposal. The guy before me, I can't remember his name, said it perfectly. We've been, he started watching the Potter, and I've obviously I got into it about 2015, but I know for a fact that Ben Davies has been here since Gareth Bale, or he was brought in a year after Bale left the first time. He played with Nasser Chadli, and he left 7 years ago. Or 8 years ago now. Some of these players have been there way too long, outstayed their welcome. And, if Antonio Conte does put pen to paper, which looks increasingly unlikely by the week, then fair play. But I think we're at we hired a manager in 2014 who was built for a budget. We hired Mauricio Pochettino. Now, Pochettino may not be the man to hire again. That's complete. But I don't think we're going to get anywhere under Conte. He's a manager built for instant success, and his reputation and his managerial ability is higher than what Spurs can offer right now. I'm sorry to say. It seems to me that we're going to need to go out and completely reshape and rebuild this team. Get rid of all the deadwood. That's been obvious for years. Not loan, even for the fact that we couldn't sell Winks and Ndombele, so we had to send all of them out on loan. We couldn't even sell them. That's a problem. Now, this club had 100 and whatever million at its disposal in the summer, and only Perisic is a guaranteed starter of those players that have been brought in. Now that to me says a lot. I don't know what it says, but it says a lot. And I just think we're not built for instant success right now. We're regressing, thinking that we can challenge for this thing, and the mentality we are not at that stage. We haven't been at that stage. We made top 4 last year based on Arsenal's failings, not on. We played well, admittedly, we were blowing teams away at times, but without Arsenal losing to Newcastle, we wouldn't have made the top 4. That's just a fact. And now Arsenal have taken losing top 4 to us, and they are running away with the league. You know, they are absolutely running away with it, and that's the difference.
Do you
That's the
think, Mikey,
difference.
then we were wrong to appoint Conte at this stage, and that we needed a project manager instead of trying to get somebody that's at the top of the food chain? Basically, should we gone for somebody a bit more mediocre or somebody a little bit less known that can?
Ryan
possibly-
Mason.
I can't tell
he
because
He might as well be in charge.
Language. The
He
kids
might
are
as
here
well.
now.
He might as well be in charge. Ryan Mason.
hey,
and
I'm
Mickey.
almost 20.
Oh,
You
Ledley,
said I'm a
though.
kid. Almost 20.
Not you. My kids are back there.
Oh, right, fair enough.
Yeah, Mikey.
Almost 20 kids.
Stop
and
swearing,
Mikey, yeah,
Mikey.
you are a kid. If you say 20, yeah, you're still a kid.
He said almost 20, he said.
Jesus. Our shoe's older than you.
No, we're joking, Mikey.
Fuck you, I'm joking.
But who
No,
do you think we made that mistake in bringing Conte in? Do
I
you
don't,
think we
no,
should have brought
because-
somebody in that might have been a younger manager that could have been potentially somebody that could become a great manager? You know, the way Ten Hag has done with United kind of thing. Even, I hate saying it, but even what Arteta over at Arsenal, you know, a guy that was with that team, should we have gone and looked at somebody that actually bled for Spurs, that loved the club and actually had a love and affiliation and an affection for the club versus just hiring somebody that we felt was appropriate for the job? That clearly.
Well, then
we-
there's
we
only
now
one
argue
man.
isn't.
There's only one man who fits all those descriptions who's available, and that's Mauricio Pochettino. There's only one man who fits that description, and I'm not. And you know what? You can argue Poch versus Conte. I don't think we were wrong to hire Conte at the time we did. You know, I don't think we were wrong to hire Conte, but it's a 50-50 because it looked good at the end of last season. It now looks perhaps not as good now. So, you know, that's a hard question to answer. I don't think it was the wrong decision. I think for Conte's sake, he won't sign a new deal. I think this is possibly to the detriment, but we're going to go through more bad times before we hit the good again, right? And we have two hugely sellable assets sitting right there in our team who could potentially fund an entire squad rebuild. Now, Son is a player who recently signed a new deal, obviously, and is a key component to this team on his when he's, you know, prior to this season. And you've got the ever-present problem of the Harry Kane deal. Now, there's been rumors and circulations that he won't sign a new deal unless we get top 4 or a trophy. Neither look particularly probable. And if he doesn't sign that deal, you know, you take that 80 mil that Bayern will offer and you grab it with both hands, because he is the heart and soul of this team. Yes, he is. And we probably will be relegated to a mid-table team without him. But you need to look at what happened with Bale, a player who not became too big for the club, but a player who we could sell for a lot of money, and rather than making the mistake of signing the Magnificent Seven and only one of them even relatively working out in Eriksen, you buy players who can fund a rebuild. You know, we've got promising strikers in Dane Scarlett who probably could be given a run out in the team. You buy, I don't know, someone like who's you know, like an Isak, make a purchase like an Alexander Isak, or a striker who's not necessarily in the top 3 strikers in the world like Harry Kane is, but not a slouch either. Someone get you 15, 20 goals and just take the money that you could get for Harry Kane, try and get Son back in, because we've got Richarlison even. I forgot about it. He can play as a striker.
There already. We got that player already.
He could play. You know, we've got Richarlison, we've got Kulusevski, who he has to be kept at all costs. He has to be kept at all costs. At this moment, I'm convinced he's more integral to this team than just about anyone besides Romero and Kane. You know, he is, you know, there's so many things I want to say and not enough time to say them, but like, in general, the board, obviously the board and the owners, that's a I could run for half an hour on these toss spots in the bold.
You'll get a chance to, don't you worry, Mikey. There'll be enough.
Bold fraud,
shows.
I will say bold fraud, not bold CUNT. But I think he needs to hold the blame for himself. But I think Conte walks, and I think that would be the best decision for both parties. It's been an unhappy marriage this season, and I don't see it getting any better. I bring in a project manager, you know, Amorim from Sporting is doing a great job. Who's the guy, you know, Schmidt at Benfica, the guy who's running Wolfsburg right now. Niko Kovac is doing well. You know, these kind of managers, even bring in Poch, because I don't. Enrique and Tuchel is not the kind of point we're in because again they are top tier managers. I think someone like a Poch coming back would be great, but obviously he still has the issues with the owners.
Well, no, yeah, we're in territory now where we look at a manager and we go, "No, you're just too good for us." Unfortunately, we don't even look for the best anymore. It's like, "Nah, he's too good. We need someone not as good." That's what we're looking at.
Is that based kind of
we
like
need a
Mikey
project.
said that we're not at the point where we should be appointing a manager.
Well, I think we've proven that. I think we thought we were when we sacked Poch and we've hired Mourinho. We thought, okay, now we're time to go to a super manager kind of model. But we're not prepared to give these managers what they need to compete. So there's no point having a manager like a Mourinho or a Conte or a Guardiola or a Klopp or these managers or Tuchel, these managers who need very good squads to manage, who to compete at the very top. There's no point having them because we're not ready. We're not prepared to to treat them like the other top clubs will. So we need a manager who's gonna get a team to be a lot more than the sum of its parts and be and grow a team and kind of
Agreed.
Be a project. But look, Mikey, we have a lot of people in the back end. I appreciate you calling in. Appreciate you calling in, bro.
I bought my membership back. Bought my membership back just for this specific call. So, you know,
big up to you. I hope you see you more.
Take my money
soon.
Big up, Mikey. We'll see you soon.
Better here than the club stuff.
I mean, I paid 50 quid to go see 2 matches, and I'm regretting buying the tickets now. I'm seeing AC Milan and West Ham.
No sympathy here. I spent $5,000 to fly over here and watch a match. So, yeah.
You know what? Yeah, never mind. I didn't say anything. What? I didn't say anything. Anyway, see you guys.
Mikey.
Big up, Mikey.
We've got a few super chats before we get the next call on. One from Andrew Subash, or no message there. Brandon Troller says, if you're feeling down, just imagine Daniel Levy rubbing his bald head and belly, doing an Irish jig to the Spurs anthem while we throw tomatoes at him.
Brandon.
You can imagine that if you want to. Big up, Brandon. Andrew Subash again, big up to you. No message. Eugene Park says, lots of players were poor, but Perisic alone cost us 3 goals in my opinion. Perisic is a winger. We can't use him as a defender. He was bad. He was bad. He was bad.
Defensively,
but look, no. The thing is with Perisic, you don't have him in the team for his defensive quality. And he won a Serie A playing left wing back for Inter Milan because it wasn't because he's a great defender. It's because he's very good in the attacking moments when you get him forward. Now, when you're playing a game in like Man City, you're doing a lot of defending. So it isn't a game really to have Perisic in there. And that's why I don't think he played him on Sunday against Arsenal, because I think he was also knew that we were going to be doing a lot of defending in that game, which is why I didn't play him. I reckon he started him today because Session was that bad. He just thought he had to change it. But look, I don't think these are the kind of games Perisic earns his money at left wing back, in terms of it's when we're going to be more on the front foot, which is where you'll see the best of Perisic, in my opinion. But yeah, he was bad today.
We need to be defensively more sound.
Correct. We need better defenders. No, you're right. And he look, the first 3 goals, he was terrible. Andrew Subash again, but this time with a message, says, wish Conte, Kane and Son would go, would bring down expectations. New manager squad at least can enjoy the game. Conte neither improved a single player nor brought the falling players' confidence back. I mean, you can say that now, but after 6 months, you would have said every player had improved. Dyer had improved. Davis improved. Kane hadn't scored a goal for 6 months, and all of a sudden he was banging in the goals. Yeah. So it's easy to say that now, where we're struggling, but after last season, no one was saying he hasn't improved any player. Everyone was saying every player has improved under Conte.
But that's again because we're down, right? So it's easier to start pointing fingers when we're negative, right?
Exactly.
It's easier to start pinpointing when we weren't pinpointing mistakes when we were winning. We're not pinpointing mistakes when we ended up in top 4. But
I just don't see how we have our best start in the Premier League for how many years, and now we are where we are now. It's just crazy.
It's been an implosion very quickly as well.
And I said it was good. This could all unravel very quickly. A bit like the next caller's cupboard that he needs to shut the door on, because we can see his clothes.
Oh, we can. We see
it's not as tidy as Danny Kiriaku's bedroom. There we go. There we go. That's better. It's Ashmatic. How
Yes,
you doing,
people, what's
Ashmatic?
going on,
How
man?
you doing, man?
Yeah, brother.
You good?
Oh, funeral settings, bro. Funeral settings.
Mate,
Mad.
you didn't leave your bed here from the NLD, man. I was thinking I'm gonna have to sleep here. So where'd you put it, man? From the post-match fan show.
Oh, it's folded up. You have to just look in the back, right at the back.
Okay, cool.
Then you'll
All
find
right.
it right at the back.
Okay.
Yeah, it's folded up. It's folded up. Yeah.
Okay, man.
I got you.
It was Ashmatic. It was.
Three chicken legs.
I was going to say it's like Groundhog Day, but in a sense, it was actually a reversal today with the fact that we had.
No,
we
it
actually
was Groundhog
took the
Day.
lead. We took the lead though this time, so
Oh,
it was
yeah,
a bit
no, yeah,
different.
right.
We did take the lead, but in terms of
Remix,
the defense, in terms of the defense, it is Groundhog Day, isn't it? I mean, I kind of feel like when people go in on Conte for, he's too stubborn, he only plays one way, he doesn't change it up, he doesn't do all these things. It's like, what can he do to get this defense to defend properly?
Listen, there's a reason he said he needs a left-sided centre back, because he knew the whole of the left side was trash. Basically, Arsenal took out our left-hand side. They targeted it. Today, City did the same thing. They said, yeah, that left side is trash. Go for Perisic, Davies. These men can't handle our sauce. Literally, that's what happened. Hugo Lloris getting beat at the near post. The first goal when he comes out and he clatters into Royale, he tries to punch it, doesn't quite get there. Like the left-sided, like Perisic just got beat by Mahrez way too easy. Even like when Perisic had a hole through his foot and the ball went through and went straight into into Mahrez. Mahrez took on Ben Davies, did a steppy. You know he's right-footed, so don't show him on his right. Take him inside where the traffic is. Don't show him on the right. He shows him on the right and he beats him. It's just that whole left-sided was just jaded, and we don't have what they have. You see that man Lewis, yeah? He looked like a little boy, but today he was a man. That guy Lewis, he ran the game. We haven't got a ball-playing centre-back like that. We haven't got a ball-playing centre-back that can carry the ball, that can dribble the ball, that can command the ball, that can attack it. He even had a chance in the first half. He was their man of the match in the first half. He was dictating play. Between him and slightly Rodri, even though Mahrez was doing a lot of runs and he was dribbling and he was involved in all the goals, like slightly Rodri was pulling strings as well. And we don't have a midfielder, a defensive mid or a double pivot that can play from deep and kind of do those playmaking balls. We don't have a playmaker from deep. We don't have a playmaker from high. We literally have 3 or 4 man up front. That's it. The rest, we got Bentancur, obviously. The rest, I don't know. I don't know.
So, Ashmatic, breaking news. Tottenham
Yeah.
have gained approval for the new complex to be constructed opposite the stadium. Brilliant.
Oh,
Fucking
we're going to
brilliant.
win the league, boys.
So does
Brilliant.
that mean no chicken?
Brilliant.
Oh wait, does that mean no chicken?
Hey,
They're taking away Chick King. No, I'm
Man, you
joking.
should have ate there this trip.
Unbelievable.
What was
man.
that, like a- like-
Ashmatic, a new complex. Surely you can't blame the
Aye,
ownership.
so like, see, in my ends, they got like Westfields and that. So basically, it's going to be the equivalent to like a massive shopping mall. So we'll be able to have like go to the cinema before we go to the game. Maybe play some bowling. Maybe go karting. Who knows? Like, who cares about trophies?
Yeah, we got a complex, bro.
Yeah, we don't even need to watch the game.
Wait,
like, people watch-
yeah, exactly. The complex is going to have a cinema, mate. We don't have to go watch the game. We go watch a movie.
Well, at the moment, Sim,
Money
it's a-
making.
At the moment, Sim, it's a horror movie, not anything else.
I'm pissed.
let me go on.
Go on. I
I
was
was
gonna say
gonna
I'm
ask-
pissed that I'm not invested. I'm not one of the investors like getting money up for this whole complex thing, because these guys are getting money left, right, center. NFL complex for the women, like extra training ground for the women. Like it's just money coming from everywhere. Like golf ranges, like the list goes on.
Let me ask you this. Conte, in his post-match interview, was asked about the performance compared to last season. He says, if you compare this game with the game we had last season at the Etihad, we played much better today. The performance was good. We played with personality. We created problems for City. Last season, we played with long periods in our own box and defended. This season, we were very brave, and we created problems for Man City. And at 2-2, we missed a big chance chance to make it 3-2, and then when
That's
they
what I
went
was gonna
3-2,
say.
when we went 3-2 up, it changed the mental aspect of the game. So what do you think about those comments?
That's what I was going to say as well. So basically, like what he was saying, in the first half, we did get at them. We did press. We did nip at their heels. We gave away a lot of free kicks, but we were front-footed. We weren't giving them time on the ball. We weren't giving them space. And we kind of grinded out that first half, and we nicked 2 goals at the end of the first half. Well done, boys. Cool. But in the second half, they just turned up a gear. They turned it up a notch, and we didn't have a reply. Now, I know what Conte is alluding to. Like, I can't remember. I know the first time we played them under him, we're a lot more defensive, and we went out a bit more front-footed, and we did have some spells where we were a bit more aggressive, a bit more front-footed, and there was a chance, even when I think it was 2-2, and it fell to Perisic, and Perisic hit it with his right foot, but he hit it too centrally to the keeper, and it deflected and it hit the bar, or hit the post, whatever, hit the woodwork.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, Perisic, normally, like I knew, like in the World Cup, Perisic got like 3-4 goals. Like Inter Milan, he's got 6-7 goals. And like the one thing I got excited about Perisic was for his goals. I thought, all right, we're gonna have a wing back that's actually a winger, and he's gonna be able to chip in. Like, and obviously him and Son, people be saying like, oh, him and Son can't play well together whenever they're playing. I honestly thought when Son pulls wide, he comes into the half space, and then he gets more chances on goals. And like this Perisic, I haven't seen him shoot a lot. I haven't seen him shoot at all. Like, and the chance he got today was massive. I expected him to put that away. I'm not gonna lie. And like, he's both footed, left footed and right footed. He's not like, for me, Sessegnon, as bad as he is, I think Sessegnon's actually had more chances, more shots on goal. I think Perisic has had more corners, more crosses, more set pieces, and that's why his assists go all the way up and he looks impressive. But in terms of actual shots, like shots taken, creating shots, like I don't think Perry's lived up to his attacking side, and that's the reason why we brought him in. If you're not going to be the best defender, at least be good at attacking. And I'm not attacking Perisic, but going back to what Conte's saying, I understand that kind of side of it, but fans won't get that, and they're gonna think, "Are you on drugs? Are you smoking yayo? Are you all right, bro?" Because why would you say that after that performance? Fans aren't going to be able to understand that concept or where you're coming from. You're better off, because he's done it more than once. We've lost games, or we've not done too well, and he's come out with these type of comments. He's better off just saying, you know what, the boys didn't perform too well, and we're going to have to, go back to the dressing room or back to the changing room and kind of discuss what went right, what went wrong. But instead, he's saying we're playing well. Of course, like, fans are going to be thinking, what the hell? We're playing this terrible football, defensive football, even though we're not playing defensive football, because clearly, like, we scored, what was it? The third highest in the league.
Yeah.
And,
Ashmatic, since October, we're bottom of the league for goals conceded.
Imagine that. And people complaining about back 3. Oh, why don't we go to back 2? Because in the back 2 will be even worse. And I'm thinking the whole point of the back 3 with the back 2 double pivot midfielders, that's meant to make a 5 central like unit defensively. But I feel like it's not working. It's like, it's not even how defensive are our double pivots? Are they really defensive? I know we've been chopping and changing in midfield, but who is our most defensive midfielder out of our double pivots? And are we doing enough defensively? If one's pushing on, is one protecting the back 3 once we lose possession? Because I felt like today, like when Kane drops in that hole, sometimes when he drops in that hole, he loses the ball. Same with Perry today, or even Son. When they lose that ball and it's that vital transition, that's when we look weak and we don't have enough numbers. Someone needs to be like defensive minded in that double pivot and think, right, if my man's pushing on, I need to just sit back here just in case. Or one of the centre backs, or one of the centre backs have to come across, and the other centre back have to come across just to fill the space, to fill the hole, just to delay time so our team can get back and sit back into our shape when it's a 5-4-1 and we can defend better. But a lot of the times, when City scored, it was just like we were getting beat way too easily. Ben Davies just got beat way too easy. Perisic got done way too many times. It was just a poor Hugo Lloris getting beat at the net. Like, I know I'm going over and over again, but it's that teams know it's a weak side. Let's go after that weak side. And also sometimes we lose the ball in those central areas, and a lot of teams are coming down that middle now as well. And yeah, I feel like we don't have a ball playing centre back, man. I just think that whole back line just needs to go in the bin. Just start again. Just throw that whole back line in the bin. Start again, and because obviously Conte keeps talking about a solid base. He's like, oh, we need a solid base, and only when I get the solid base, then I can build. But I personally, this is my last point. My last point is everyone's like, get rid of Conte. Get a project manager, but my thing is, if you get a project manager,
go backwards.
Not only will it go backwards, it's going to take longer because with a project manager, you cannot attract the same quality players that we need to push on to the next stage. Because supposing like Conte saying, I could be a Klopp, I need 2 or 3 years. I guarantee you, if we were backed properly. Like supposing like Enoch and Lewis and Levy decided that, all right, we're gonna just free up the money. If they decided to free up the money and Conte's still in charge, we could attract a quality left-sided centre back and a quality centre back that could go straight into our 11 and a top quality goalkeeper because we have a winner in Conte. But if you get a project manager and we're outside the top 4 as well, it's gonna be a lot harder to bring in the quality we need to get to where we need. Remember, like everyone's saying, oh, look at Arteta, you know what I'm saying? Look how long they took. Look at Alex Ferguson. Look how long Alex Ferguson took. He didn't come straight away. Look at who's the other man? Look at Klopp. Look how long Klopp took before they needed 2 or 3 years, you know what I mean, to build. Even if you look at Potter at Brighton, even he took like 2 or 3 years. Not to say he did something amazing, but look at what his project right now is looking good. Brighton's looking good right now. So what I'm saying is, if we get rid of Conte and we bring a lesser manager in, then what type of centre backs do you think will be get? We're not going to get a solid base. We're not going to be able to push on, and that's my thing. That's it, really.
All right, Ashmatic. It's good to see you,
man.
my friend. Nice.
Good to see you people, man.
Big up, Ashmatic.
Always a pleasure.
Big up, man. Apologies, it's under these circumstances, man. I wish it could be under better one.
I know. Twice I've finally been on a stream with you. Both times it's been a bit depressing. So hopefully the third time's a charm, my man.
Yeah, my bro. Definitely, man. We need to improve, and we've got 11 days left, man. So it's not looking rosy.
We're still haggling over 10 million.
We're
euros,
haggling.
Apparently.
I don't get it, bro. It don't make no sense.
Ashmatic, we said it earlier. Pedro Porro is the new Leandro Damião.
Yeah, for real. Because we could have done our business, move on to the next target.
Oh, okay.
It's just,
and
everyone's buying. Even West Ham have got Ings. Like, I don't know what we're doing, bro. We're trying to wait till the last minute of the window.
They're just shitting out signings at the moment. Chelsea, they spent 100 million.
They'll end up getting poor anyway, so I don't
they
even
spend
know
another 35. Why not? Why they've gone this far? You might as well spend another.
Yeah, it was something
No,
like
they deserve it, man.
351 million pounds has been spent in the January transfer window. You might as well change that to Chelsea have spent 351
yeah, honestly,
million.
because they'd be mad. Ash, good to see you, my man.
Yo,
Big up, Ash.
All right, peace, love.
Big up, brother.
Hopefully we get a win somewhere, but whatever.
Big up,
Big
Ashmatic.
Big up, man.
All right, that's Ashmatic. Let's move on. Who else we got? All right, we have another guest. Oh, here we go.
It's Daniel Levy.
Daniel Levy. Can you guess who's just come in to the
Oh, my
end?
word.
Well, you know what?
Here we go.
It's fair I get to speak to him now because I haven't really got to see him. So
Brian, there you go. You're on mute, I think. You're on mute.
Yeah, you're on mute, mate.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
No, we can't hear you, Brian. Brian, we can't hear you.
Well, I weren't talking to you anyway, Nick, so I'm talking to Bobby and Simeon.
Hi, Brian.
What's up, Bobby K in the UK,
What's up,
brother? You
brother?
good?
I'm fantastic. Always better when I see you. Unfortunately, I know you're not better right now. So what's going on, my man? How you feeling about this? Where do we point, man? Where's the finger being pointed right now, brother? We discuss this all the time, and I know you've opened my eyes into realities about the football team, the club overall, and everything, and the squad itself. You know, things that I really never looked at before I came into this little YouTube community, and you're exposing a lot of truths and realities. So where are we at, man? Where did we screw up today? Where's the fault lie, bro?
Hey, do you know what? I talked to Ben. We got Miles in the car as well. I'm deflated. I'm so deflated. I don't even know what to say anymore. There was Ben will have a word in a second. There was just something weren't right in the fans tonight. It was like this ain't a dig at the travelling fans, because they've turned up in their masses again and did what they did. There was just an acceptance of mediocrity, an acceptance that the dark days are back. There was an acceptance that we're useless. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, here we go. We're fast and furious in it here on the way home. Yeah, exactly. We were just, I'm just honestly deflated. It was nothing. Like, even when we scored, Simeon, we were at Manchester City last season. We know what the atmosphere was, and obviously the ending with that fantastic 3-2 win. 1-0 up, it was like a state of shock the way the goal was scored. And it was City has happened again. The second goal, but that was about it, weren't it, Ben? It was just...
There was nothing in that game today. I thought we started the game well. First half we were okay, and we were like completely so lucky to be 2-0 up in the game too. Completely lucky goals. I thought Bentancur made a big difference, but come on, man. Sonny, where are you? Perisic, where are you? Lloris, where are you? All these big players, man, they're not standing up for us at the moment. All three of them, I thought, were absolutely dog shit today. Absolute dog shit. And as soon as Man City flicked that switch, it was it. Game over. And they absolutely destroyed us.
And it's obviously not a case of us letting off the gas. It was just a case of them putting down the gas and us being exposed.
It was a clear case of us not having the quality and us not being good enough. The players on the pitch are so poor, man. So poor. And we can't keep going on like this. We've got clear holes in that squad. How many times do we have to say it? Conte sending messages to the board. How does a Conte even end up at this football club? How? Every big manager that comes through this door, Jose Mourinho, a week after, 2 weeks after, he goes, oh, I know why there's big problems at this club now. Why did you know that beforehand? And why are you signing up to a job that you can't do? Same as Conte. Why? Why is he walking into this club if he doesn't know what he's in for?
You know what? I'll just add on to that as well. It's not just, like Ben said, there's those huge gaps. Even where these players are the good players, they are just overplayed because there's no strength in depth to say, do you know what, you'll come on for the second half, or we're rotate for a bit to freshen it up. There's just, if people are fit, they play, because the alternatives just aren't good enough. So we will overplay you and overplay you and overplay you. Don't get me wrong, a majority of them are absolute garbage. Absolute garbage. But even if they're not, they're just expected to churn out performances and churn out 90 minutes over and over again. Manchester City, yes, they've got all the money in the world. De Bruyne on the bench, Foden on the bench. Was it Rico? What's his surname?
Lewis. And
Lewis.
Sub is Ryan Sessegnon.
Yeah, Rico Lewis, Man City's youth academy, bringing people like Foden through. People like this guy. There's kids coming through that can come in and mix it with the big boys, and we're still talking with Harry Kane as the big gun. Harry Winks, have you seen Harry Winks? Have you seen what he's done on Twitter?
He's liked a tweet on Twitter, yeah.
Yeah, that said don't doubt Guardiola or something.
He said you can never doubt Guardiola. Only the tweet said.
Even our players that we don't even want are trolling us.
I was worried about the fans in the stands today, Matt, because no singing whatsoever. Even when we scored, it was very subdued. I mean, it was a very weird atmosphere today in the stands.
Well, it's funny you say that. It's funny you say that. Pep Guardiola in his post-match interview was asked about the City fans booing at half-time, and he said that he came to the home stadium today, and in front of home fans, and all he could hear was Spurs fans. He said,
Really?
"Yeah,
Mate, do you know what?
That's so strange because the atmosphere was dog.
It really was. I mean, when we went 2-0 up, it got a bit like. But do you know what? We had the whole the stand next to us, which I would say was most vocal, wasn't it? Obviously, you're next to the away fans. They were singing "Spurs will never win the Premier League." All these derogatory.
Better atmosphere upstairs, downstairs.
Yeah, maybe.
Let's win a game.
But they were. Listen, it's football banter, and you expect it. But you thought that would rile us up. You thought that would make them want to sing. Hearing these songs, you'll never win the Premier League. You're shit, 2-0 and you fucked it up. You thought there would be something that could spark Levy out or anything along that. And it was just, and like I said, this is not in any way a dig at the travelling support that are fucking phenomenal every single time. There was just like, it's just like it's like the end of a party and you've just got you're just deflated because the day's over. Like Christmas Day when it's over. Those 2 days between Boxing Day and New Year, and you're like, well, what the fuck do we do? That's what we were like today. It was like, well, what do we do?
Look, I wanna end on positives because I think there are 3 positives to take from the game today. Thought Kulusevski was really good again, and he's getting back into business. Bentancur is back in the team today, and he is a massive plus for us because we're much better with him in the team. And that Man City second half revival could re-spark their season again. So maybe Arsenal won't win the league after.
I can't believe you missed out a 4th one. We may not have seen Harry Kane history, but we damn sure saw Emerson history. Yeah, we put it this way. We didn't even know who scored it. We got our phones out, saw who scored it, and we're all laughing.
yeah, fair enough." And let's just hope this City win is not in vain because we need them to win the bloody league. Let's hope it kickstart their season.
And all I will say, and listen, my Twitter's been going, and people have been saying, "Why wasn't Levy outside enough? Why wasn't this?"
We tried.
We tried.
Well, it was reported from Henry Winter. Henry Winter said the Spurs fans
in the
are singing.
In the first half, there was a big one. In the second half, there was just nothing. We were trying to get it going. A few people below us, I don't know what people with the tiers above were doing. But listen, I have been knocked down so many times with Levy out and all this over 15 years of doing this. It's not going to knock me down. People don't get knocked down. If you want to have your voice heard, where you will get it heard, and the messages will be heard, and we will be singing everything. Training ground Saturday. Get there if you can, because if you can, we need all the support we can to rally around to get what we want.
All right,
Brian.
lovely to see you.
Always good to see you, buddy. Unfortunately, we'd like to see you under better conditions, though.
Bobby, I forgot that.
I'll do it for
Brother,
you.
I will speak to you tonight. I'll speak to you tomorrow. I'll speak to you tomorrow, Bobby Kate.
I got him warmed
Listen,
up
everyone,
for you,
have a
buddy.
great night. Speak to you later. And as always, Levy out.
Have a safe trip back, guys.
Love you, brother.
Big up, man. Big up.
All right, Ben and Brian on their way back from Manchester, as resilient as ever.
Yeah, what is that? A 3-hour drive now?
3-hour drive, about a couple
How long
hundred
is that
miles.
damn
bit more than
drive?
that,
200
probably.
miles.
How painful is that drive now?
5 hours.
4 to 5
what?
hours if they stop.
there traffic?
Man. If they stop.
It's 4 hours if they put their foot down.
Yeah, if you put your foot down. It's,
4 hours if you put your foot down.
Yeah, it's
I had
well,
a long flight.
yeah, it's not great, especially after a loss. It's even worse.
Yeah, exactly.
After
It's
a loss,
just deflating. You know what I mean? It's even like for us when we left the NLD and the way it was, the atmosphere and everything. You know, Nick drove us home, and it was just you come outside the stadium and it's already a ghost town.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like we stayed in the stadium an hour after the game. What did we waste about another half hour, maybe 20 minutes, half hour inside
don't know.
before we finally came outside? It was just like I just want to go home. I want to get out of this area.
I just want to get out of it.
Yeah,
get out of it.
The air itself, it's just negativity.
I can look
big
big up to Ben and Brian and Ashley and Miles and everyone that's travelled up there because obviously we were there for the Man United game and I couldn't imagine another getting back at stupid o'clock in the morning after.
Just don't stop at that. What was that McDonald's we stopped at? There was a-
Canuck services on the M6 toll.
We
yeah.
stopped at, what was it? We were on the way back from Man United when we lost 2-0 early in the season. And we were both all starving. So, like, we wanted to stop at a McDonald's, like, on the way home.
Yeah.
And there was... basically, there were no McDonald's open because it was like in the middle of the night. It was like midnight, 1 a.m. or something. And then we were like, okay, we have to. We had to like search one for a service station which had a 24-hour McDonald's. There was one service station on the way back, pretty much. that had a 24-hour McDonald's, and we stopped. So we're like, okay, we're going to stop there to eat. We stopped there. There's like, first of all, there's like a massive queue when we get there. And when you get to the front, you realise why there's a massive queue, because you put your order in, and then the person taking your order goes and makes it.
One man operation.
And then not only that, the West Ham were playing Liverpool, so the West Ham fans came. The Liverpool fans came back to London came. The Man United fans going back to London.
And I'm not joking. It was about a 45-minute to an hour wait for your order. It was a very long wait.
McDonald's is worth the wait.
And it was horrible. It was cold. It was the worst McDonald's I've ever had. So on your way back from Manchester,
the experience,
yeah, it's part of it. Your hour-long wait
part
from
of the
McDonald's.
game day experience, right?
No.
From that point, you can't call it fast food anymore. So it's a gourmet meal, I guess, technically.
At that point, yeah.
Yeah, at that point.
It's being served by the same waiter.
Yeah, exactly. All right. We have the Joracle in the house. Let's get him in. Jory.
Pick up, Jory.
Hey guys.
You look very relaxed. You're looking like you've just poured a glass of wine or something.
He has. He's
He's
not just poured a glass of wine. He's probably done a couple of bottles and doesn't give a shit about the result. Jory was like, "What? Oh, talking about Spurs? I don't care."
You can tell.
I thought Jory just came on to say hi to me. It's the second time in a row now.
Before. He's seen it all
Yeah, I
before.
wouldn't miss it, Bobby K. So yeah, no, I'm
Great
feeling
to see you,
quite
bud.
relaxed, and I'm once again going to be a little bit of a contrarian tonight, because I would say I was actually proud of the boys tonight. I thought they came out fighting for the bats and for the manager. I thought Conte was engaged. I think his tactics was spot on. We lost the game because of individual errors once again. These individuals are simply not good enough. We don't need to hound them for it. We don't need to go over it again and again. They might be all right in the championship. That's maybe where they might kind of not be out of their league all the time. Yeah. I'm not even I'm saying maybe lower end of championship they should be comfortable, sure, but Premier League, and you saw it as soon as Man City piled on the press, then they completely broke, and completely lost their head, and that's just, there's nothing we can do about that other than have other players. We're not going to get the Premier League not to press us this intensely. This is known about our defense, and this is generally the play that every team plays nowadays, is to go in with the intense press. The reason I say the tactics were spot on was because we were controlling the first half. They had the ball, sure, much more, but we were controlling the first half. We managed to lower the tempo of the game a lot, so City couldn't do their thing, and we managed to make them play in areas where they weren't really looking to play. Then when we came out into the second half, they came out pressing so hard that they managed to break down, especially the left hand side, with the Perisic and Langley, and it was down to Hugo, Dyer, Langley, Perisic, and their defending let us down once again. And you can go to the gym with your dog as much as you want. It's never going to turn into a tiger. It's always just going to be a cocker spaniel. That's it can be a really
Spaniel.
cocker spaniel. It can be the fittest cocker spaniel in in the neighborhood, but it's gonna die when it meets the tiger. That's just how it goes, and that's what we're stuck with, But I was happy because I was kind of dreading that we were already there where Conte had completely disengaged, and even worse, where the player the bad apples in our club were throwing Conte onto the bus, and Kane and so on were getting disinterested. That's not what I saw tonight. Tonight I saw an actual team fighting for each other, fighting for the manager, fighting for the bats. It didn't go our way, but I can't complain about their effort actually. And I thought, to be honest, I thought tactically we saw exactly what this team needs to do. All we just need now is two freaking center backs that can hold the line, and one right back that can give us some service up front. Saying that, I would be fine with keeping the wing backs as
Oh,
Oh,
Nope.
oh.
I think we've lost him. Jory, I think you've got. Yeah, it looks like you've cut out. Oh, is he back?
Oh,
Is he back?
Now you're back.
he's
Good,
back.
Good,
He's
good,
back.
good,
He's
good.
back.
Yeah, he's back. You were just saying something about the wing backs there, Jory. That's where we lost you, my man.
Yeah, no, I understand. Like even like I would even go so far as to compromise and keep and live with the wing backs out this season if I could get at least one first choice center back.
So
The
Jory,
center
you're
backs.
saying it's the individual mistakes. How long is it before the players that are actually putting in the performances and doing their jobs get fed up with the ones that aren't doing their jobs or the ones that keep making the same mistakes? Because it seems to be a simple pattern with certain players being inept consistently. They're consistently bad. They're consistently making mistakes. They're
I
consistently
think
making the
the
same
first
mistakes.
time, yeah, but Bobby K, I think the first time I've ever seen a Spurs fan, put what do you say, like give another fellow player an evil eye and scream at him was Højbjerg tonight. Kane, for example, should have called out his colleagues a long time. Lloris, if he was half the captain that he pretends to be, should have called out his defense along. They should all be screaming and shouting at each other and holding each other accountable. And they should make sure that the board cannot get away with trying to roll over another season with this not good enough. They should be making the demands. I've heard twice, maybe in the media, kind of Kane and Sonny hinting at the board needs to step up now, but it's so vague and biteless, that it's not doing anything. And really, what you need to do is basically just make life insufferable for the guys that are not good enough, because nobody's, the worst thing you can do to a person is to put them in a job that they can't handle. It's not good for them. It's not good for the job. It's not good for anybody, and they're gonna feel the worst of it all, So they think they want to stay in the Big Six club and with the great facilities and so on and so on. But I promise you that we will be happy, and they will also be happier if the sooner they leave, And there, like I have Lloris as the most guilty there, because Lloris knows better, and he's the captain, and he's supposed to be taking the responsibility for exactly this kind of stuff. And he's actually a passenger himself, So I'm not happy with that, but I wanted to call in and kind of try and be positive, because this I really thought that I saw a fighting spirit from the whole team and the squad, and all, because the way I see it, if everything breaks down, it's like it's completely fucked. I don't see any joy with this club for a long time.
Yeah, and it's you're gone.
No, I was going to say, but if Conte gets two players now and three players in the summer, I can see a lot of joy. I can see a lot of really positive things happening for this club. But that bald motherfucker, and I'm in the club. It's not a prejudice at all. He needs to wake up and understand what this is about.
Jory,
And-
quickly, just on a
yeah.
scale of 1 to 10, what do you think the chances of us getting those two players are?
I think it's
Honestly,
in the
how do you feel?
balance. I think it's really hard for me to say. I would almost direct that question to Brian and Sim and Ben and so on, the guys in London, because I really believe that the pressure, the publicity that you guys are able to produce around Enoch out and Levy out and so on, that's going to be the difference maker. So if, for example, the protest is fairly successful and gets good coverage and stuff like this, and I really do believe that that's what does it really, because we've been talking about what's the point of getting these elite managers if we're going to be a mid-table club anyway, and the point is to play this game, to keep us happy, to pull the wool over the eyes of the fans, of the legacy fans, keep us happy, and then they can go another cycle and do another revenue stream cycle and so on. And and that's why they pay these managers much higher salaries than they even get in other clubs. It's because it's actually a cheap way for Enoch not to compete, not to take the risk of competing, but actually having an image of being competitive. So.
But if we have players that are consistently crap and not doing their job, how long is it before the players that are pulling their socks up and compensating almost for these poor players, they start giving in?
But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
How long before that? And then we're done.
That's what I mean. If we had in our club, if we had let's say, let me see, who can I say? If we had like who should I take? Like Immobile or something, I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm just taking an Italian striker instead. If we had that instead of Kane, this situation wouldn't continue like that. Kane is such a nice guy, such a
Loyal servant.
Loyal servant, doesn't want to make a fuss, wants to make the best of every situation and so on. And this goes out throughout the club. These are the personnel that has surrounded the club a lot. Sonny is even more courteous and nice and unconfrontational and so on. If we had confrontational players, this wouldn't be going on. If our superstar was a hot-headed Wayne Rooney or something like that, then it wouldn't be able to continue like this. It's a kind of a culture of appeasement and where these kind of middle manager people like Levy, that's what they love. They don't want any trouble. They just want the cycles to keep ticking, and Conte, which is the absolute amazing thing, and which was gonna make me crazy, was if now Tottenham were able to get Conte to leave the club without making a fuss, then like that would be the most Spurs thing in the world for me, because my kind of consoling thing was either we're gonna win something with Conte or he's gonna blow up the place. Both things are good in the grand scheme of things, But I see some fight in Conte, and I hope the squad that I saw tonight, they were fighting for Conte and they were fighting for the honor. So I was kind of happy, actually, even though we lost. I was happy with what I saw. So.
Fair enough, and I think Conte might agree with you. He said today he reckons today's performance was better than the one last season. In that sense, that's what he said after the game. Even though the one last season we won 3-2, he said this season we were braver. We were actually pressing higher. We were actually causing City more problems. It was just those mistakes that were costing us, which we didn't make last season.
Yeah, I would definitely encourage people to watch back the game because I totally agree. There was a lot of brave people. A lot of the players confronted their issues tonight, and I was happy to see that. Yeah, and so hopefully there's still a little bit of hope of the Conte project continuing, but I'm not gonna put my house on it though.
God,
but-
God bless your optimism, my man.
He's
Honestly,
not usually
we
this
need it.
optimistic.
We need it.
No,
Honestly, Jory.
it goes both ways, my friend.
Sam,
Don't
I'll
worry.
take it as based
It's-
optimism.
it's,
It's
have a-
there on a sliver of
I
it,
think
but I'll
you
take
should
it.
usually have a few glasses of wine before coming on, Jory. I
Yeah,
think.
yeah,
Mellis
exactly.
girl and-
We should have a couple with them, maybe.
yeah, I think so. I think we need to join you in that. next time.
See, maybe your channel can sponsor me, okay? So
What you depends. What are you drinking, Jory? What we
it's
talking here?
expensive
Yeah,
red
expensive.
wine. So,
Yeah, what is
Sim, it's not a £5 bottle of red from Tesco, is it, mate? Come on.
It's not
This is the
box wine from
Joracle.
Mazda.
No.
No box wine from
This is
Mazda.
the Joracle, mate. Look at him. He's
Yeah, look at
class,
this. He's
Nice
suave,
kitchen.
suave,
class.
sophisticated.
I tell you what,
Exactly.
Sim, I'll give you a banner for a pint in London next time I'm in London. All right. So
That's a deal. That's a deal.
yeah.
All right, Jory.
Jory, good to
All
see you,
right,
my
take
friend.
care, guys.
Cheers for
Great
calling
show,
in.
by the
man.
way.
Appreciate
Thank you, man.
bro.
Appreciate it, Jory.
Always love getting the
he's,
Jory.
honestly, man,
He's brilliant.
I'm talking about a well-spoken guy that just speaks sense and puts things in perspective properly, and still leaves you with a little hope.
We
In
try.
a
We try.
situation like this, where we're just,
Seems
complete black
hopeless.
clouds
Anyway,
right
can you
now.
stop talking?
No, I normally
You
don't
want to
stop talking,
look?
I'm
Some,
actually
you,
sorry.
I know you got
gotta go
nothing to
home.
do tomorrow.
I know
but
you gotta go home, and you gotta go
Sim
sleep
and me, I don't want to be sleeping here all night. You know.
Time to get the sleeping bag out.
Exactly,
Barry, I think.
exactly. Well, Danny's here. Danny's here, so I don't mind sharing the sleeping bag with Danny.
Hey,
But, you know.
do, do,
All
do.
right.
But you two, no, definitely not. Anyway,
I don't
well,
know what,
shots
I know.
fired from earlier, Sim. Yeah, I remembered what happened earlier, Sim, when you were firing shots. Yeah, it's coming back.
Fair enough. All right, let's get Josh. Spurs debate. Is he there? Can you hear us?
No, he's on mute.
Yeah,
What?
he's on mute. Josh?
What an amateur, Josh! Come on,
Can
man.
you hear us? No, he's he's not on mute. He's
No,
very,
he's
very
not. He's
quiet.
very quiet. He's
yeah,
like
you're
quiet
really,
like a
you're
mouse.
you've got a problem with your mic, I think. Do you have a different mic or something? We can hear you like really, really faintly.
I can't hear him at all.
You can't hear him at all now.
No.
Is it unplugged? No, it's not the headphone.
Have you unplugged us?
No, it's not. It's not. It's not.
Nothing. I sat
It's not,
down in the
it's
middle,
not,
didn't touch
I-
nothing this time.
I can't hear you, Josh.
We can't hear you, Josh.
Try reconnecting. We'll try and get you back.
Open your window and start.
Try
yelling
reconnecting. We'll move on to the next caller in the meantime. Who is the next caller in the meantime?
See, this is why I was talking.
Yeah, man. Come on,
Michael.
Michael. I think this is Michael who just signed up, new member.
Right? Yeah.
Ah,
You became a
Michael, yeah,
member, you
get him
wanted
on.
to Come in. It was what Michael Chan. It was there, right? Who's in the chat? Yeah.
Hi, can you guys see me?
Michael, hey, good.
Yeah, we can hear you,
How you
Michael.
doing, buddy? Welcome to the show, man. Thanks for
Fantastic.
signing up,
What did you guys think of the match?
Anyway.
No, this is
hey, Michael, hey,
that's
thanks
not
for
how
signing
this
up,
works.
Michael. Yeah,
That's
hey,
not how
yeah,
this
cheers,
works,
man.
Michael. We're asking you the question.
Yeah, Michael.
What do you think of the match?
Yeah, Michael.
Yeah,
you tell us
Michael.
what you think. Tell him, Sim.
Yeah, I'm telling
Over here,
him.
bully us. No.
Do you want to see me cry? Is that it, Michael? You want to see me
No,
cry?
no.
Breathe,
So-
breathe. It's all right. It's all right.
We saw something different from Spurs that we haven't seen all season. We saw them pressing. We saw them, especially in the first half, we saw Manchester City making uncharacteristically poor passes. And then we saw Spurs capitalizing. We saw a goal from Emerson. We saw some positives out of this team that we haven't seen in a long time. So I think that, mistakes get punished against good teams like Manchester City, but it's not all doom and gloom like it has been for everybody so far. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, we obviously started the game all right. First half we played well. I wouldn't say we deserved to be 2-0 up in the first half. I thought we were a bit fortunate, but I also wouldn't say that we played badly. I thought we gave a good account ourselves. We defended very well, gave very little away to City. We did try and force some mistakes from them, and we ended up doing that at the end of the first half. But again, once our defence is put under significant pressure, once we're penned in, we just don't have the quality to deal with it. And it showed up again today, didn't it?
I think the defense is something that needs to be addressed
3 years
immediately.
Yeah.
It's a quality problem. Dyer is not a center back in a 3 or in a back 5 or 4. Longleg gets bullied off the ball. Davis gets bullied off the ball. Romero is the only natural center back that's on the team. So I think that there's a real problem buying players that aren't natural to the position. And I think that, for example, like Perisic is a player that I think is fantastic for Conte's system, but isn't for the rest of the league, because you have to think about the way that he plays. It's strictly offensive, not defensive at all. He doesn't play with Son, and when Spurs defend like this and they can't get the production out of Sonny, what do they have left besides Kane?
Yeah, it's look, for me, the best 3 players for Spurs today were Romero, Bentancur, and Kulusevski. I thought Kulusevski played quite well today, in my opinion. I thought he was a danger, and I think he did help the attack for me.
So I think you have to look at the way that Spurs attack. Majority of the stuff went to the right, and Emerson has the defensive ability to cover Kulusevski a lot. And you actually see most of the crosses coming in from Perisic's side. You see Sonny getting crowd into the middle of the pitch where he doesn't have a lot of space. Kane's get pushed up the pitch, so you don't have the service from him. There's not a real creative midfielder, so you don't get service to really any. You don't get service to Kane. You don't get service really anywhere. It's hard.
Yeah, it's no, it's true. It's true. When it comes to the defenders you were talking about, unless we replace them, like, what can Conte really do to change our fortunes right now? Because it just seems as though the same things keep happening. People are calling for him to change it up, do something different, but it's kind of like, it kind of seems like whatever he does right now, it's the same problems keep appearing.
You know what you have to do? Crowd the midfield, because that's where Manchester City was winning the ball again. A 2-man midfield isn't enough to keep Manchester City away from getting the ball back and pressing high and capitalizing on mistakes that Spurs make. So if you push Kane back to a 10 and start Richarlison, you're actually going to have better results than if you're going to, rely on a back 3 that only has one natural center back.
What do you suggest changing then, Michael, back there? Do we change systems? Do we change formations? Like, what's going to work at this point? Because it seems like we're void of ideas. We're void of quality. It just things aren't clicking. We take a 2-0 lead into the halftime, and still we throw that away. And not only do we throw it away, we throw it away where we concede 4 goals in the second half.
I mean, you have to realize that Kane is the best passer of the ball that you guys have. And when you guys don't have a guy who can pass the ball, but you have a lot of guys who can finish, you have to play the strengths that your team has, and Conte hasn't done that.
When you say you guys, sorry, I'm curious now. I just have to ask: are you a Spurs fan or do you support a different team?
I just support football in general. I don't really have a team. I live in the States. I mean, I guess it's for Riverhounds are my team.
Okay.
The Riverhounds, interesting.
Where's that?
Absolutely.
Where's the Riverhounds? Where's that?
They're in Pittsburgh, baby.
Pittsburgh.
Hey,
and
are they in the
So,
MLS?
yeah,
Is that an MLS team?
I've been following Spurs since, like 2007 with Lee.
Okay.
So I've had a very soft spot in my heart with Tottenham for a long time, and I was watching Sonny and following his career, and I was watching the match today, and I was just realizing there's no space for him to run into. There's no freedom on the ball. He's crowded towards the middle, and when Spurs rely a lot on Son's goals, and when Kane is the one providing them, and there's not a lot of interaction between the two of them anymore, and that's such a big part of the offense and a lot of the success, Spurs are stifled. They don't have a lot of creativity. They don't have a lot of finishing either. Now that both of them are like taken out, the defensive, it's just not it's not good enough. They're losing the ball in the midfield. There's no defense and there's no creativity in the offense. It's really bad.
But but looking from it's true. But you're saying he has to play to their strengths, Conte. But you look at a lot of the top managers throughout the league, Guardiola, Klopp, Arteta right now, top of the league. They're also very stubborn. They play a certain way, and the results will suffer if the players can't fit his system. But it doesn't mean they change the way they're playing. It means they usually go and get different players.
I mean, yes and no. It depends. So you have to look at Jurgen Klopp's been at Liverpool for 8 years. Manchester City has been with Pep for many years, and they've spent over £1 billion.
Exactly.
Arteta's been in the job for 5+ years. They've had multiple windows to get this right. They didn't go in and spend 160 million on a bunch of players and expect to win the league. Like Liverpool had a long time before they had to compete for the league, and same with Arsenal. Like this,
right. You're proving my point. You're proving my point.
Well, I mean, I'm also saying that it happens over time. It doesn't happen quickly. And players like Perisic, players like Bissouma, they do need a midfield depth. They did need a dedicated left winger. They did need another forward. Tottenham had terrible injury luck this season. Terrible injury luck.
Well,
I mean,
go on.
Between Arsenal and Spurs is Tottenham have had remarkably poor luck with injuries.
Yeah, we've had bad injuries in bad areas. That's for sure. But I guess what I'm saying is, what can Conte do with the squad he has now? What would you suggest he does? What, play 3 in the middle? Is that what you're suggesting?
I don't think he has another choice. When you have a center back,
but then you're taking out Kulusevski out of the team.
You know what? I think that,
or Sonny.
I guess
I think that's a decision that has to be made. Like, I believe that the front two can rotate. I think Kane, Kulusevski, and Richarlison and Son can all rotate 2 and 2. I don't think 3 forwards is gonna work.
Who did we go to a 3-man midfield in? We got absolutely.
We've done it before against Man
United.
United. Man United away. It was bad.
They had Højbjerg and they had Bentancur.
It didn't work. What are you saying? It did work.
I don't think it did.
No.
Why? Because you're saying we need a creative centre mid. Is that what you're saying?
That's exactly what I'm saying. Who's going to pass the forwards the ball?
Right. So how can we move to a 3 without a creative centre mid then?
I think Kulusevski's a 10. He said he's a 10.
Okay. So you're saying same personnel but change up a bit, move Kulusevski a bit central, shift it a bit, and maybe won't be dominated.
To lose at this point. Every team has figured out that Conte is going to play the same rotation, the same system, the same players every single match. Spurs are letting top 4 slip out of their fingers quickly. It's happening before our eyes.
It's not, Michael. We're not even in top 4. By the end of the next 2 games, we could be near 10th. We're going to be closer to 10th than we are going to be into the top 4. So I think top 4's over. I think, if we're talking about salvaging something from this season, it needs to be, we need to put all our eggs in one basket, and that's got to be the FA Cup or the Champions League. And I can't see us winning the Champions League, so it's got to be the FA Cup, right?
I mean, you say that, but I also think that other teams have very, very exploitable weaknesses. Like Arsenal are Thomas Partey injury away from not having a really good.
Yeah, but they just signed Trossard. So if Partey goes, they've got Trossard, right?
He's a forward. It's like we.
Yeah, no, I know, but he can be adaptable, right?
It's like Spurs signed Richarlison when they really needed a right back.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. We signed plenty of players. We need a centre back. We need a left centre back. We need a left wing back. We need a right wing back. Even Romero. He played well today, but he's been a shadow of himself. We need a whole new back five, and a goalkeeper. Because look, there is no problem going forward behind Manchester City and Arsenal with the 3rd highest scorers. But the issue is that defence. We're like Sim said, since October we're bottom of the amount of goals we conceded. We're bottom of the league. We're 15th overall this season.
Man, I don't agree. I don't agree with that because I think Tottenham have a real identity problem. I think Tottenham want to be a big club, and they don't want to spend like a big club. Then they have to trust in their scouting and recruitment. So I'm going to give you this, okay? They could have brought in Sven Botman, Kim Min-jae, Avisha Kvaratskhelia for 65 million. 65 million. That's if they bought into their scouting that they were in for.
And why didn't we buy them?
Starters for Spurs. They're starters. Kavisha's starting over Son. He is. Kim is easily starting over Dyer or Langley. Same with Botman. Like these guys are Premier League ready. They're winning things. Botman's already proving it at Newcastle. Napoli are flying high in first. Spurs need to get back to what they did best, and that's trusting in scouting, because they're not going to. They've already proven they're not going to spend with the big boys, not consistently, and they've already proven that they're willing to trust in young players and give them a shot. Like, this is not the identity of the team.
So do you think Conte's not the right man for Spurs?
He was never the right guy for Spurs.
Fair enough. All right, Michael. Good call. Appreciate you calling in, giving your time.
Yeah, big up, Michael. Thank you for calling in, man.
Thanks for the call.
Good stuff, man. Cheers, buddy.
Nice one. Oh, he's gone. All right, nice one, Michael. Cheers for calling in. We'll try Josh again.
Signing people.
All right.
There he is.
Oh, we can hear you.
Hey, Josh.
Portrait Josh this time. Let's go. It's working though.
Yeah, not
That's
in the car for once, man. What's happening, Bobby K, mate? Hope you're good.
I'm good, man. I'm well. How are you, buddy? Long time no see. Keep
I'm
well?
good, mate. I'm good, mate.
Part of the results, of course. Part of the results.
Yeah. It's a shame, mate. You come here for these few games and you get 2 losses and 6 goals. So, yeah, man. Difficult for you to take. But, no, what I wanted to say, guys, really is I'm looking at the results, right? And I think, a lot of people obviously saying we need money, we need a new centre-back. I agree. We need a new right-wing back. I agree. But in January, we're not probably going to nick someone's best centre-back unless we throw some serious money at it. I'm talking, spending 20, 30% more, right? And we know Levy's not going to do that because Levy will always play the long game, and he will try and save money than spend money, right? So we're probably not going to get this centre-back that everyone's after, right? The best chance we've got of adding to this squad is Pedro Porro, right? Because that looks in negotiation. So let's see what happens with that. If we get him and we've spent 40 mil, it's probably the best that's going to happen this window. And
really?
I think, I don't think we're going to get anyone else, mate. I don't think we're going to get anyone else. I think Porro's going to be the man.
Signing Pedro Porro for 45 million is the best we could have done in this transfer window.
Not we could have done. That's what's going to happen. That's the max.
That's the best Levy can do. He's saying basically.
That's the best we're going to get, lads. That's the best we're going to get, lads. Yeah, I don't think we're going to get this centre back. Do you really think we're going to get a centre back?
No, we weren't even linked with a centre back. This
exactly.
Can someone please?
We could get him. Yeah, of course he's.
Can someone please ask?
Could be the best in the world. It doesn't mean.
Can someone please tell me where Paratici is? Because he's missing. So if anyone can find a director of football, can you return him to N17, please? Because we don't know where Paratici is or what he's cooking.
Hopefully he's working. Do you know what I mean? Hopefully he's working, and flying around and doing deals. But listen, guys, we can't blame.
Name some centre backs we could get to improve the back line already. Hincapia we could get. We can get Ndika. These players wouldn't make too big of outlays, but we were not going to do it because we're I don't know.
But Sim, are there clubs, right? The way I look at it, Sim, is are there clubs going to let them go in January? Probably not. Unless we meet a clause, and a lot of these players don't have clauses.
Ndika's got 6 months left on his deal, so you could probably
but I mean, look. You need all 3 parties, obviously. You need the buying club to put more money at it. You need the selling club to be happy with the offer, and you need the player to be happy as well, right? Because we saw with Trossard and we saw with Mudryk, or however you say his name, he fancied Chelsea because the money was the same. It was only 97 grand a week or whatever it was, so it wasn't wages. It was the deal. The club preferred the Chelsea offer over Arsenal. So the club said, we'll accept that offer. And then he went to Chelsea, right? Even though he's not going to get Champions League football by the looks of it. We look at someone like Bastoni, who apparently Spurs were in last year in the summer, but apparently he didn't want to come, right? His agent's coming out saying the player doesn't want to move. So I don't think we're getting this quality centre back that people are on about at the moment. I'm just trying to manage my own expectations, but I'm also telling you what I think is going to happen. We'll probably get Porro, and that'll be it.
No, I agree
Yeah,
with you. I don't think we are getting a centre back. Yeah, okay, go on. What's
yeah,
your
so-
point anyway? What's the point?
So the point is, right, like asking for centre backs in January, it's not going to happen. We're not Man City, we're not Chelsea, and I don't see it happening, right? Number two, I think, lads, and I know this is going to sound a bit negative maybe, but I think we are where we belong. This club is where it belongs. We're fifth in the Premier League. That's where we belong.
Is that a shot at the ownership, or what are you saying?
That's a shot at the ownership. That's a shot at the manager, and that's a shot at the players. I'll tell you what's a shot at the ownership. In the summer, we signed a lot of players. People were raving about Perisic, best in Europe, raving about Basuma, best in the Premier League, raving about Richarlison. And I know, Sim, you were a big fan, so am I. I still am. And we got those 3 players, yeah? And then we went and got a youngster, which you always do in every window. You go and find the next big thing. So we went and got Spence. And we got rid of Deadwood. There's no more Harry Winks. Obviously, Dele Alli went before that. We're trying to get rid of Tanganga, trying to get rid of Sanchez. So this is a project, and projects take time unless you're Man City. Now, I blame the owners not for putting the extra 5-10 mil down, because that's annoying, isn't it? It's like if it's 5 million, it just put the 5 mil down. But I also respect.
12, didn't we, for Trossard?
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever it is. But Trossard looked like he wanted to go Arsenal. I don't know. Nobody knows the facts here, right? We'll assume it. Now, with Porro, if it's a case of we'll give you half now and half over the next year or whatever, that's great, because that gives us cash flow in the bank to go and spend on someone else. So I haven't got a problem with negotiations. But what I've got a problem with is at the end of the window, if we're left without Porro, because then you're sitting there going, hold up, you thought of the money was more important than making that top 4, which hopefully we can do in the second half of the season. So I'm going to call the owners out at the end of the window. Man. Yeah, no, I'm not going to call the owners out until the end of the window, because this time last year,
Josh, 22 years, mate, 1 trophy in this, and you're waiting another 11 days. I'll tell you what's going to happen. We're going to get to Pedro Porro, and we're going to pay the release clause, because that's what they've been saying after the last 3 or 4 offers that we've offered. So if we're going to do it, and we're going to pay it on the 30th of January or whatever, why didn't we do it on the 1st of January? Because we're trying to do Nick, the same thing as before,
What man. It is, Nick, if we can get rid of a bit of dead wood in the deal, I'd rather wait 20 days and get someone off the wages.
But what's the point? 34 million plus Sanchez. That's nonsense,
no, what
man.
I'm saying is, if they're going to take a player off us, and they do take Sanchez or Tanganga, whoever it is the player is, I'm all good for that, mate, because it's got rid of dead wood. And those wages are better spent somewhere else. So I don't mind a bit of negotiating, but I want the player by the end of the window. How they do it is up to them, yeah? It's, do your little, work it out what works best for Tottenham, work out what works best for Sporting, but get the deal done. That's where I'd call the owners out.
They don't want the player, man. They want the money straight up. They're not interested in a swap. They want 45 million straight up.
What will happen is, obviously, Spurs will, hopefully this is what happens. Levy gets to like deadline day, a bit like with Kulu and Bentancur the last weekend, and says, right, you know what, I've rolled the dice, it didn't work, just go and get the player now, because we need the player, because Conte is going to kick off. So we will get the player. I think we'll get the player, but I think we'll get him towards the end of the window, not in the next few days. I just think it will happen at the end. And the risk of that is...
If we wait till deadline day, the chances are they're not going to have a replacement. So then they'll say, sorry, we're not going to sell him.
Yeah, but it's a release
I think
clause.
when there's a clause, you can't do that.
Yeah. When have no choice.
Okay.
Yeah. When there's a clause that the buying clubs in pole position, a bit like Neymar. Now, when I look at the last few results, lads, I expected us to lose to Arsenal or get a point at best. I expected us to lose today. Yeah, I expected us to lose the last 2 games. Yeah, I'm just being a realistic fan here, because Arsenal are playing amazing football. The best we would have got is a draw in that. We got a loss. We got given to us what we deserved, because Arsenal are playing phenomenally. They're playing amazing football. You have to say it how
Josh,
it is.
I don't think they're top of the league, right? But I don't think that they're. I don't agree with Alex Davis much, but I don't think that. I think on Sunday they were clinical, but I don't think they played. They played amazing football, man. I think
they had another gear in them. Nick, they had another gear in them, mate. They just didn't need it.
I don't know.
They had a gear up. I think we were just a gear down.
I think we had 15 minutes of that second half, and then that was it. Arsenal got control of the game again. So I expected us to lose today. I expected us to lose to Arsenal. I expected us to beat Portsmouth, and we did. I expected us to go to Crystal Palace and get a point, if not all, and we did. I didn't expect us to lose to Villa at home. And I think that's on the players and Conte, lads. Because can you really say before that Villa game that we didn't have the better players at home?
No.
No.
You can't. So that's got to be on the players, right? Or the manager, or between the pair
We
of
saw
them.
that last season, didn't we? When we lost to Wolves and we lost to Southampton, we did the same. This season is almost mirroring what happened last season, because soon we're going to be out of the other competitions. We'll have one game a week. We'll have time to prepare. We'll be playing good football, and then, well, I think top four's a dream, but it's not going to happen.
But lads, what I'm
time.
saying is we are where we are. We're probably 3 points short because we should have beaten Villa, and we should have been in the Carabao Cup because we should have beaten Nottingham Forest away when we lost 2-0. Because on paper, I know the owners are a problem. I'm with you guys on that. We need money, right? Or we're going to fall behind. But them teams there, Villa at home and Forest away, we should be winning those. With the players we've got.
Should be, Josh. Yeah, I
should
agree
be.
with you. We should be doing it.
So
but
that's on the
we're
manager
not.
and the players. Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah,
we've got to
so
put blame.
for me, this team tonight, Romero, Kulusevski, Bentancur, and that's probably it. The rest of them, Kane's gone in the summer. We know that. Son should not be anywhere near this first team. Højbjerg is a disgrace. The defence is a disgrace, and Lloris is an absolute disgrace, man. The rest, they are conning people by taking their, like Bobby said about taking their paycheck home. There's literally 4 players in this team that deserve to be on the pitch, and the rest of them, they don't be. For whatever's happened in the past, yes, great, it's in the past. But in the here and now, these players aren't good enough, and they're not performing how they should be. So a lot of that has to lie with them.
Nick, what I'm saying is it has to lie with them. But when you see Thomas Frank at Brentford smashing it, when you see Brighton, Zebri smashing it, when you see Silva at Fulham smashing it, when you see Eddie Howe at Newcastle smashing it, where do we bring Conte into this conversation
I'm
against the lesser
not saying
teams?
Conte's blameless.
Yeah, but they got far less expectation than Conte. Like it's very very different circumstances, and their club board is aligned with their vision. So if they want to sign a player, they sign in accordance to what they're looking for to fit the system. When
lads,
Perisic, it's not the same with Conte.
Sim, I get that, Sim, and apparently Conte is a serial winner. The Zebri just got here.
Wait! It's not apparently; it's a fact.
Okay, serial winner. He's won the Premier League once. Not serial.
He was in the Premier League for 2 seasons before Spurs.
Yeah, and he won it once.
Correct.
Yeah. So
yeah,
he's not as successful.
Five Serie A's.
Yeah, but Premier League's a different beast, if you ask me. Mourinho's the only man.
In his first season, he won the Serie A. What do you want from?
No. I'm not discrediting Conte, but I'm saying when we say serial winner, is he as good as Pep? We don't know, right? We can't really say that because he ain't
Pep
proven.
inherited a lot better squads everywhere he went.
He hasn't had the players, right? And he's trying to do it with lesser players at Tottenham. But my point is,
Pep didn't win his league in his first season. What happened was he was getting battered 4-0 by Everton and scraping Champions League in his first season, and then he went and spent 50 million on Kyle Walker, and then 50 million on Benjamin Mendy because he was backed by the board, and they because he
spent $1 billion. He spent $1 billion.
Exactly.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is Conte is trying. We know that. But there are certain games where you have to put it on Conte and the players. Like today's not on Conte and the players. We probably would have lost that game. If we played 10 of the games, we'll probably win once. Arsenal, like it or hate it, are beating everyone. But the rest of them, right? I'm talking Aston Villa at home, Forest away. Those sort of games going 2-0 down to...
We beat Forest away.
No, I'm talking in the League Cup recently. Yeah, those sort of games, we can't be putting it on no one but the manager and the players, lads. I'm sorry, because listen, if we're not finishing top 4, yeah,
we're not, Josh. I'm telling you this now. We're not.
Yeah, if we're not finishing top 4, right, because we're behind Newcastle, you could argue Newcastle's squad is not better or worse than Tottenham's. You can go on for hours on that. Man United squad.
They play 1 game a week.
Yeah, they play 1 game a week. Yeah, so we've been playing the same games a week since the World Cup. Why did we lose to Villa? when we lost in the Carabao
Because
Cup,
his players aren't good enough, Josh. That's why we lost to
0-0
Villa.
at home to Leeds. Like, that happens. You get results. Look, obviously, I'm not saying Conte's not blameless. Of course he's not. But when you have players letting you down, like when you have Lloris spilling the ball and Buendia putting it away,
individual errors.
You can't legislate for that all the time. You know what I mean?
You can't. But at the same time, when you're sitting back in the first half, taking a beating against teams you shouldn't, you can't excuse that either.
No, you can't.
So what I'm saying is Conte for me.
But why does he do that?
Listen, Sim, that's the $1 million question. He gets paid £15 million a year. He needs to answer that question. We could all sit there and say 4 at the back, 3 at the back. You know, what's happened to Basuma? Would he have played better under another manager? What's happened to Son?
Maybe.
You know, we have to ask these questions. This is between the manager and the player. This is nothing to do with the owners at this point. The owners, we question when there's a hole and they need to fill it. But when there's a team like Villa or Forest, or we go and draw and we lose games in the first half, that's between the players and the manager for me, guys. That's not necessarily, I'm not against today. Man City, I take this win, but I'm not sitting there going, shit, we're crap. Arsenal,
we are,
it's
Josh.
still hurt.
We are.
No,
we
we're
are because
crap
the players aren't good enough. The players aren't good
against
enough.
Man City, who is good enough? Nick, who is good enough against Man City?
Come
when
on,
they
you saw
turned it
what
on.
Happened. When they turned it on, I'm not disagreeing. When they turned it on, they turned it on, and we were beaten. Why we were beaten? Because the players aren't good enough. Why aren't the players good enough? Because we don't back the manager. We don't back Conte. We don't back Mourinho. We don't back Poch. What's the point? All these people, calling. Hang on, Josh. Hang on, Josh. When all these fans call, we want Pochettino back because we play exciting football. Then what was the point of not backing him when we should have backed him in the first place? Why? Because
we should have backed Poch. We should have backed Poch.
But what would have been the point? There's no point.
He had
Conte, credit for
he
what?
had credit in the bank, Poch. We should have backed Poch. I don't know why we didn't back Poch.
Champions League final. We played good football. This is the credit.
But Nick,
we didn't win anything, man. We didn't win anything. This is the point.
You're talking long term. I'm saying this season, some of them losses are on the manager as well. I'm sorry. We can't keep
no one's
blaming.
saying that, Josh.
Of course
no one's saying that.
Of course they are.
But these players aren't good enough.
We're talking about the bigger picture.
The bigger picture, there's a project which needs to be backed, right? And at the moment, I don't think we're going to get anything but Porro. That's just my view, right? I don't know what other fans think. In the summer, hopefully we're going to spend 150 mil. And great. And we shouldn't judge until the end of the window. Because we did that last year and we got 2 of the best players that we've had in a long time. So I'll wait till the end of the window on this one.
Josh, by luck.
That was actually.
You could say luck, or you could say Paratici would turn around and say, I knew these players were good. They were just in the wrong environment. So we brought them into an environment where they're loved, they're given time, and it's worked.
No,
but what I'm going to say,
I wouldn't say it was luck. I wouldn't call it luck that we got.
It's not luck, man. It's not luck. We can't when it's good. We've got to give credit to good. If Paratici's done something good, we give credit. That window in the summer with Basuma, Perisic, Richarlison was a good window. Most people gave it a 7. We lacked a centre back. And maybe we shouldn't have bought Richarlison and put that 60 mil on a centre back.
We overrated Longley. I think we can pretty much confirm that Longley is not the.
Yeah, I mean, people are going mad.
Spence wasn't Conte's signing. He doesn't want to use him. We still have big holes in the back.
But Sim, Spence. A lot of teams would have been happy with Spence as a young signing. It was only 15 mil or whatever he was, 11 mil. I don't know what he was. Yeah. So I'm not going to look at Spence. I'm going to look at the bigger signings, like the Richarlison signing, the Perisic signing. He's on like 180 grand a week.
How many goals has Richarlison scored?
But Richarlison, okay, fair enough. But Richarlison and Basuma, or maybe not Basuma, but Richarlison and Perisic is not the reason we're in the position we are right now. I don't see them as those signings as the big problem. The big problem is we're relying on Davis, Dyer, Longley, Sanchez, Tanganga, Emerson, Doherty, Sessegnon. That's a big load of defenders, average defenders, who aren't Champions League quality, aren't defenders that we want us to take us forward. If we want Conte, to come in and take this team forward to where it was last season, Champions League football, and actually compete for big things, for a title, for a Champions League. You're not going to do that with that set of defenders. That is just reality. When Eric Dyer against Liverpool just heads it straight to Mo Salah and he goes through and scores, what can he do when Lloris comes charging out of his goal against Newcastle, right? And gives away a goal to Callum Wilson. What can he do when today there's countless mistakes at the back line? What can Conte do about these things?
Conte can't do anything about them because they're player errors, right? And that's where we blame the player, and that's why we hang out Hugo, and that's why we hang out. I don't know.
Hugo
Today
was
you
done,
can hang
Hugo
out.
was done 3 years ago, man. We just sentimental FC. This is
Hugo,
what is sentimental
Hugo
FC.
showed the best and worst of himself today. He saves that shot from Lewis, and then he goes and flaps about. Yeah, that's Hugo Lloris.
A shot that he should save. He's a goalkeeper. He should save a shot like that.
He should save that. He should
shot.
save that.
It wasn't a hard
He should
shot,
save
Josh.
that.
Come
He should
on, man.
save that. No. He should save that. And the near post one, obviously, the deflection. You could argue he should save that because it's near post. You're not supposed to hug your post. You're supposed to leave a little gap because you can't leave the right to open. But whatever that is, yeah, that's debatable. The Arsenal was completely his fault. But my point is, lads, that we are where we belong. So when we start crying and panicking, where do we expect to be with the squad we've got? Do any of you actually expect us to be third and second right now?
No,
that's the point.
Exactly. So when fans start going, we're shit, we're not shit. We're where we belong. That's what I say to other fans. It's like, hold up, what are you complaining about?
But you're blaming Conte for that.
I'm saying Conte and the players take it when we lose to lesser teams. And this season, I've seen us go up to lesser teams and not take it to them. And that's on the manager and the players, the lesser teams. And we should be 8 or 9 points above where we are, lads. We've been getting away with it.
Josh, let me just ask you this then, my man. Do you
even
think
the Champions
with the
League,
squad
we got
have,
away
is
with
Conte
it.
the wrong guy for this squad then?
No, I think, guys, look. If he gets money, you can't judge him unless he's got a full toolbox.
No, but
so now he's got
with the current squad and the current manager, the pieces of the puzzle that we have right now are not fitting. Right now is so. Are you?
Why
saying,
are they not fitting? We are where we belong.
But which
what's not fitting? Where do you expect us to be? We're where we belong. How's it not fitting?
But that's what I'm saying. We expect more.
Why do you expect more? Why do you expect more?
Because when you bring in a world-class manager, you've got a handful of world-class.
But wait,
players.
we've got 4 bad defenders. Why are you
adding
expecting more? We've got 4 bad defenders. Why are you expecting more?
But that's the point. Where do we point the finger? That's what we're at. That's where we're at.
So
right?
so our expectations are correct. We're realistic.
Are you basing that on the squad? Or are you basing that on Conte? Is what I'm asking.
So what we're saying here, lads, is we're realistic. We accept we're 5th, and we're probably the 5th best squad in the league when you take those 4 defenders into consideration. We're better than Villa. We should have beaten them. We're better than Nottingham Forest. We're better than the other teams that we've lost to. But we want to be second. We want to be a title contender like Arsenal. That's what we're saying, yeah?
No. So we're saying that we need to improve the squad so that we can compete with the likes of Arsenal, Man City.
That's what we're saying. We could be in a race. Yeah.
Right. We have Conte. We have Conte here. We have all the ingredients to be able to be a club that can compete in the upper echelons of the Premier League for something big. But what is holding us back is not the manager. What's holding us back is the players that he has at his disposal.
Yeah, but my message is we are where we're supposed to be, right? And that's the reality, and that's our expectations. We want to be second, we want to be third, and we want to be in the Champions League. So it's on the board to sign Porro, and if we sign Porro, are you guys happy, or do you expect that centre back?
I'm not happy with just.
I mean, I'll be happy with Porro, but no, I wouldn't be happy with just Porro. I mean, look, I would accept it. I'm not gonna. I mean, I think he'd be a good signing. But I don't think and maybe things will improve a bit. But yeah, it's not enough. As long as we're relying on Dyer to be our main centre back,
all 4.
As long as we're relying on all these defenders in our team to defend, as long as we're relying on them, then it's not going to be enough to. And we don't just want top 4. We got top 4 last season. Like obviously.
But Sim, what do you expect from this club, man?
Josh, the way things went obviously, the way things have gone this season, obviously now expectation is we're going to challenge for top 4. But the thing is, we got the thing is with this club, we got top 4 last season with Conte. The summer was the chance to really push on and have a really good go at doing something big, and we didn't address the core issues of the team. That's a fact. So
we were centre back short.
2 centre back short, I would say.
So So we should have spent. We should have spent another 100 mil. We should have spent. We should have spent another 100 mil. We should have spent 300 mil almost. Is what you're saying?
Or maybe we should have spent our money smarter.
Yes.
Rather than
okay, that's a good point. That's a good point.
7 players,
12 or 15.
And I'm saying, look, that's fine. Look, I'm saying.
So,
I'm not
so
saying,
did we need Richarlison?
I'm not. Yes, we did need Richarlison because we need another forward. But it's not to say that we did now not need a centre back. If you're going to if you would ask me in the summer, you would have asked me in the summer. Would you rather sign a top class centre back or a forward? I would have said
centre back.
Centre back, but.
Yeah,
does that mean we didn't need a forward? We did need a forward because we had Kulusevski, Kane, and Son.
Yeah.
And then our next one was Mora, and then Gil. So obviously we needed another forward as well. So we were right. We were right to spend the money on Richarlison, but doesn't mean it was enough.
I think no. Obviously, no one expected Son to be such a shit player. That's not on Levy. That's not on Levy.
That's true. It's
that's
true.
on Conte.
But the fact of the matter is, right, Son has dropped off massively in goals, and we're third in the league for goals scored. So goal scoring isn't our problem.
Yeah, but seeing we've papered over it, mate. I mean, we've had our luck, man. We've had our luck as well, mate. It's not like we've put teams away 3-4-0. You know, we've had our luck. So I look at that stat.
Because of our defence.
Yeah,
we have.
Put them,
right.
We've done 3-2s, 4-3s. 4-1s.
Yeah, a lot of by ones. Yeah,
we
scored goals.
Yeah, by ones because why? Because of our defence.
Yes, I know the defence is shit, but what I'm saying is, when you look at that stat in isolation, we haven't been playing teams off the park, right? We haven't beat anyone properly like that. Yeah. So this is the whole point. This is what I'm saying to you is, if you look at the team with that defence and we're 5th, I'm sitting there going, if we make 4th, that's an amazing season, right? Surely you agree with this squad. If we make 4th,
circumstances, under the current circumstances, if we get top 4, it's good. But we should expect more. We should expect more from a team who got top 4 last season, who want to push on. We should want to push on.
But Sim, we're up against. Look at the conditions we're up against. We should be spending more money. I'm with you, mate. We were 50 million short. It would have been great to have got Bastoni or a similar player. But what I'm saying is, with what we've got, with fans going mental on TalkSport and on radio and everywhere, it's like, hold up, where do you expect this squad? This squad is where it belongs. Now, obviously, the future is put money, get Porro in, spend big money in the summer, get a proper player that where you're signing a player not in the January transfer window because the club doesn't want to sell him and make it difficult, whatnot. Get that player in, do what we did last summer, put more money on and go again. But when I'm hearing fans going, get Conte out, right, and the players are shit and all that, I'm thinking, where do you expect us to be? I think Spurs fans have this expectation we should be 2nd or 3rd. I don't know about you boys, but I feel like Spurs fans think we should be better than we are. Why should we be better than we are? Look at the squad.
We're going to finish, at the moment, Josh, we're going to finish 8th or 9th. I'm telling you. And we're going to need a...
I think we'll finish
5th. Harry Kane's gone in the summer. Kulu, he still hasn't signed, right? And I know that he'll find a loophole in his contract. We're still going to need 2 centre backs, a right wing back, a left wing back. All right, obviously, Georgie's coming in the summer, but we don't know what's going on. We need a creative midfielder, and we're going to need a goalkeeper. So it's going to be even worse in the summer if we don't do what we need to do.
No, we do need to do. Nick, I'm with you, mate. We need a lot of players.
Josh, Winks and Ndombele, Lo Celso, Reguilon, they're all coming back as well. So,
mate, I'm sure.
Come on, man.
Mate, I'm optimistic we'll get rid of that Deadwood. Why would Conte want them back if he's still there? He doesn't want them back. Yeah, we'll get rid of them somehow.
But if Ryan Mason's in charge, Winks is going straight back into
the
team.
Lads. We are 5th. Nobody wants to be 5th. We're like 8. We're like 6 points or 4th or whatever it's having at the table. Yeah, we're the best we're going to get is 4th. If we sign Porro, the best we're still going to get is 4th. So if we do get 4th, it's been an amazing season. Just because Arsenal are in 1st shouldn't bother us. That shouldn't wind us up and Spurs fans getting like a little bit panicking over it. If we get 4th, it's been a good season, right?
Josh,
and there's all this stuff about. Well, we'll see.
If you're saying you're saying this squad is good enough for where it is, and we're 5th at the moment, how are we getting 4th? Because we signed Pedro Porro. Not happening.
No,
is it?
I think we'll finish. I said 5th. And best 4th. That's where I'm at. I don't think we'll finish 6th. I think we'll finish 5th or 4th. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But my point is, Spurs fans, calm down. Conte out. Why Conte out? Look at the players.
I don't think
Oh,
it's
we
even
should be up
Conte
there.
out,
Up
Josh.
where?
I
We
think
shouldn't be
it's
calling
just
for
he needs.
Conte out.
We're just screaming more.
Yeah.
For
Oh, we
supporting
should be
Conte,
better than we
right?
are. But where? Where should we be? Newcastle. Look, they play once a week, and that shit might break down soon. Yeah, we never know. They ain't spent a lot of money in this window. Let's see what happens. Man United, Casemiro. They pick a couple of injuries. They haven't got a striker really. Let's see what happens. Where we belong. Everyone calm the hell down. Hopefully we get Porro. And if we finish fourth, that's an amazing season. And I think everyone just needs to relax. The Arsenal thing is killing everyone. It's killing me, mate.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
killing everyone.
You're right. You're right, Josh. It's, the Arsenal thing is definitely.
And I think that's boiling over. It's boiling over to a level of toxicness. And keep the ball on their toes.
Point, man.
Keep
That's a good
singing.
point. Yep.
Yeah, keep the ball on their toes because that's our job as fans. We should never be complacent. So that's good that the protests are happening. You know, nobody get hurt, no one do anything silly. But, you know, like that fan jumping out and stuff, no need for that, yeah? Like the whole Ramsdale thing.
Yeah,
I was happy to see it, and then I was like, nah, there's no need for that.
That's out of order, man. That's too far.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is if this club gets fourth, everyone should have a party. We Are Tottenham party, because this club don't deserve to be third right now or second. And
Fair enough,
Arsenal
Josh.
just ignore it.
If we do get the top four and we have a party, can you bring the samosas then?
I'll be bringing samosas, man. I'll be bringing samosas, weed, alcohol, whatever you want, mate. I've got everything for you, mate. But
Josh, we have to wrap it up, unfortunately, but appreciate you calling in, bro.
No worries, man. Lads,
cheers,
it's 1
Josh.
a.m, man. Good night. God bless.
I know.
You too, bro.
Bro,
See you in
all
a
the
bit.
best, man. Take care of yourself.
Nice one, Josh. Is that it?
Please
All
tell
right.
me that's it, Sammy.
That is.
Nick, I know it's it for it. Nick.
That is the last caller. Appreciate everyone calling in and giving their opinions. Let me just read this last super chat a couple of super chats before we go. Michael Helman says, I think Conte has the right to be vindictive towards the board, given the lack of backing, at least from the fans' view. We need to commit to a new long-term project, reset expectations. Okay. And Landon Curtis says, dude on the right with the blue and black jumper is so negative. How can you sit there and say Richarlison wasn't a top signing?
Blue and black.
It's blue. It's blue and it's blue.
Blue.
Did he say blue and black?
The blue and black.
Is it both of us?
Is it both of us? You're so negative, Bobby.
I'm going to add an S on. He said the dudes on the right. I'm going to add that.
Dudes. Okay, cool. What's the name? Big up, Landon.
Big up, Landon. Thank you,
man.
man.
Bobby, what an absolute pleasure to have
man, it's been great. Thank you for having me in the studio. Thank you for hosting me in your country. It's been great. You know, all the love you guys. From the YouTube guys, it's been fantastic. So that's the bonus, man. Stay together in this community, guys. You know, we gotta ride the good waves, we gotta ride the bad ones as well. So let's not turn on each other and do our level best to get through these dark times and just hope for better times at this point.
It's always darkest before the dawn, as they say. So let's hope for a dawn at some point in the near future. Barry, thank you for the watch along, for the fan show.
That's okay, man.
Appreciate
We're
you.
We're here again on Monday.
We are.
Fulham
away on Monday. Obviously, we got all the tomorrow. You're gonna have the player ratings. Gonna have the lowdown of the post game stuff. Gonna have the 5 takeaways. Gonna have another live stream. Ben will be back in the studio, so stay tuned for that. And then obviously Sunday you're gonna have all the pre-match for the Fulham. You're gonna have the Fulham watch along on Monday. So loads of content. It doesn't stop. The pain never stops. Doesn't cease. So we will continue to put ourselves through the pain. But thank you everyone for joining us today. Thank you for all the super chats, all the callers. Appreciate you guys. Like, subscribe, and comment below. And as always,
come on,
Spurs.